In joy and gladness, with our hearts united, we shout the freedom of our lives united. Liberia, happy land, our home of glorious liberty by God's command. Our home of glorious liberty by God's command. All hail Liberia, hail! All hail Liberia, hail! In union strong success is sure we cannot fail. With God above our eyes to grow, we will overall prevail. With hearts and hands, our country calls defending. We meet the foe with valor unpretending. Long live Liberia, happy land, our home of glorious liberty by God's command. Our home of glorious liberty by God's command. All hail Liberia, hail! All hail Liberia, hail!
Madam Clara Maria, First Lady of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, former President of the Republic of Liberia, Madam Vice President and President of the Senate, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Pro Tempore, honorable members of the legislature, Your Honor, the Chief Justice, the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court, and members of the Judiciary, the Dean and members of the Cabinet and of the government officials, the Divine Excellency and members of the Diplomatic Corps, the Chief of Staff, men and women of the Armed Forces of Liberia, former officials of government, traditional leaders, chiefs and elders, political and business leaders, religious leaders, officials and members of the National Bar Association, Labor and Trade Union, civil society organizations, members of the special guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, fellow Liberians. I stand before you today and through you before the people of this republic, whom you represent, to perform a constitutional duty in fulfillment of Article 58 of the Constitution of Liberia. This provision of the Constitution mandates the President on the 4th working Monday in January of each year to present the legislative program of the administration for the ensuing session. The report to you on the state of the Republic, covering the economic conditions of the nation, including expenditure and income. Before I do so, I must ask you to join me in giving thanks to the Almighty God for watching over this nation during the previous year and for the many blessings He bestowed upon us as people. He has swiftly guided our ship of state through turbulent seas and contrary winds, and has brought our nation safely to the beginning of a new year and a new decade. I say, to God be the glory for the great things He has done. Madam Vice President, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Pro Tempore, and members of the 54th Legislature, before we proceed further, let me seize this opportunity to applaud this honorable body for the sacrifices they are continuing to make in moving our nation forward, and for the spirits of collaboration and cooperation that we enjoy during the second session, which culminated in the passage of an unprecedented 52 pieces of legislation. In the interest of time, a listing of these new acts is attached as an epidemic to this annual message. Additionally, with your collaboration, we participated in the presidential and legislative retreat in August.
To all of my colleagues from the CPP, those here and those on their way, it is my pleasure on behalf of the collaborating political parties to make this response to the President's State of the Nation address that occurred yesterday.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Liberia Public Radio. I'm Alfonso J. So right here this evening, coming to you live from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We want to thank all of our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your Tuesday evening with us here. Wherever you are, we want to welcome all of you to this all-important program. I'm going to be having a distinguished gentleman here this evening. Mr. Alayut Samat will be my guest. And as usual, right after the discussion, we will be taking your phone calls as well to participate. We're going to be looking at the President's State of Affairs of Liberia 2019 fiscal year. It runs into 2020. Of course, we're going to decide it to get your honest take. What are some of your picks from that, and what are some of the goods that you get from out of the speech? We hope to get your honest conversation here. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Thank you for sharing your event with us. Immediately following the President's State Affairs yesterday, the Council of Patriots or the opposition responded to the President's speech. We will also be getting your take as well. After the President's State of Affairs, a lot of other things happening. The shortage of petroleum products in Liberia is also overshadowing the conversation. So we're going to have a conversation as well on that. I am Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. I'm quite sure you are listening to this in so many forms and shapes. And so this is what our men from Central Liberia also gathered today. Our man,
All right, folks, we're back again. We would like to say millions of thanks to you for rejoining us. But due to some poor connection of the network here, Central Liberia, we are in Banga City. I'm Belton Iketan alongside with my colleagues, Nathan Corey here. We are trying to bring the day-to-day activities of what is unfolding in Banga City. Central Liberia, capital Bon County, Banga City. We are right at the store here, which of course we've been bringing you the day-to-day activities since this morning, but we're cut off about network, you know that Liberia Time Network. So we are total, to climb out this identical broadcast, we have to come back again and bring you out of the actions here, how people will see how people solution. But sometimes solution they come. Okay, so what can you tell national government now?
I want to tell the national government to work towards it. That solution come, my brother.
How you think they can? How you think they can work towards this problem?
The people can work. They have the power. They have the power to work for gas or other things to come here.
Okay.
Yeah, they have the power.
Okay, let's talk to our brother. Yes, your name.
Program on the way here quickly. Good evening, folks. I'm Francis and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your Tuesday evening with us here. We were waiting. First of all, our prayers and thought goes out to the station manager of the Liberia Public Radio, Mr. Nathaniel Cryport, and family. Recently was in Liberia to visit his father. It's 105. That's God's blessing. And the omen peacefully, I would say peacefully passed yesterday. And so our prayers and thought goes out to him. It's just been a very, very crazy day. And I think I sure as welcome our West African brothers. I'm talking about the Ivorian as well. While we're going through that, as a matter of fact, Sunday evening he was sharing how the omen was very ill and we're in our own chat group and offering prayers. But it happens the very Sunday at around 1 o'clock a.m. almost, a phone call came. But we're going to be having a special documentary we are putting in place. But our prayers and thought goes out to the bereaved family, the station manager, the wife, and entire family, both here in the USA and in Liberia. The moment he lives a decent life, and so may his soul rest in peace. Well, let's just come right back to the talking point here this evening. So as usual, we're going to be having to you here to participate, but I'm going to be talking with a distinguished gentleman here. He believes to be a strong supporter of the CDC-led government. Our own Batintino of Liberia Public Radio, based in central Liberia, Tabanga, was also in the street. Following the address of the President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Weah, the opposition coalitions and pressure group responded. But what actually are they saying and what did the president say? I will be talking with a distinguished gentleman right here this evening. And hopefully we will get his take as well. And as usual, right after his participation, we will be bringing you in to also form part of what we are doing. We're going to be the discussion here this evening, as usual. I'm Alfonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Stay tuned, folks, and we will be with you here and to get this program going as soon as possible. Time is fast spent. It's 7:44 Eastern Standard Time from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio, and we will be posting the number after we talk to our guest. So he's going to be joining us here very shortly. As usual, will be joining me via Skype, Mr. Aliot V. Samba. Mr. Samba, good evening. Are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm here. How are you?
Okay, let me just join him yet. I believe joining us yet. First, he's a regular participant and a contributor here, but I'm going to have him yet for us to have a conversation here. He seems to be being one of the voices of the CDC-led government or the coalition. Okay, my dear brother, good evening, and thank you for taking off your time to be with us here this evening. For the benefit of my listening audience, I wish I wouldn't do that, but it's a tradition. Here you are a special guest here this evening. I see you smiling here. It seems to be that your government or George we are delivered, correct?
Well, I think the intent was mixed. He had one of information to give, and he did that I think in the best way he could. Now, whether or not the recipient of that information were satisfied, that's a whole different issue.
But then again, that's
Okay, all right. We're going to get to the in-depth of all of that here. Let's look at the 2 years of Dr. Weir. The challenges has been there. No questions about that. Let's see here. So let's count on some of the good. Taking it strictly from your playboy here this evening, and which I'm going to respect, and the audience will also have the opportunity to react. How can you characterize the 2 years of the first 6 term of the President of the Republic of Liberia? In a honest factions, not based on partisans, and that's not what I want here this evening. That's not what I bring you here. But I want you to pull out the garments of being a nationalist, which of course you are, Mr. Samba.
yes. Alfonso, I will be honest as well. In addition, I would like to say that CDC failed. They have actually succeeded in many respects. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
The CDC government in the last 2 years have done some great things. Road connectivity, which seems to sound good with the air positions. But it is one of the paramount things that this government has the government actually created a network that it needs to alleviate sensitive economic issues? No. But we can upgrade the government in accordance with what it has, in accordance with its capability. The government has a very limited resource to work. The government has a lot of political adversaries to beat. There's a lot of destruction going on the part of the opposition for the government to sit back and continue to do the little things it can do within its minimum resources. We can give the government succeeded in encouraging the government has also succeeded in listing Liberian people, for example, the government is to create security to support the but through the police is doing everything in power to provide security in Monrovia. Monrovia is able today than the city of here in Maryland. With all the communications about is we are not rule out crime, as those things are very normal in Africa. And so,
let me see. I'm getting the reaction here. What's your audio from your side? Is there any other device that is open from your end there?
No.
Yeah, because I'm going to say he is now sounding right, and the sound is not working right. I'm getting let's see, a feedback here. I believe is coming from your end. Folks, just let me know. Let me see. The sound is not good. All right, you said the sound is not good. So I'm not sure whether it's coming from me. Please do me a favor, folks. If that is the case, if something, then I'm gonna get him on the phone and see, because we might not have the enough time to work on that. Is the sound? Am I sounding right from your end, or is it coming from my guest? So we will know exactly what to do to Madam Barclay and all of the folks that are listening. If the sound is, if the distortion is coming from my end, just let me know, and then we will definitely work on it. I'm not sure why it does that, but when I'm talking, I'm getting the perfect here from my end. Is the sound coming from my? Okay, go ahead. Let me see it, Mr. Samad.
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. Let's try again. Let's see.
Okay. So, what I want to say is, you go.
Is your phone on speaker?
My phone is not. What are you talking about? My phone is directed to.
Okay, so I don't know where they Okay, let me see here. Go ahead. Let me see. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let me see here, folks. Just bear with us here. Bear with us here. The hosts, you are very clear. Okay, they are getting me cleared apparently. From your end, let me get a little sign again. If not, then we will try to change strategy here to see, I don't know where the echo is coming from precisely, is coming from, and I know. So let me see here from the guest. Okay, from the guest. Let me see here. Maybe something is not going to right. His voice still having the echo. So, Mr. Samba, let's see. Let me get your voice again. If not, then we'll just switch gears and I will just route you through the LPR number, and then we can just have the video so as not to keep our audience boring here. But let me just get a word from you if it looks good or not. I will still get a sort of distortions.
I think we still got it. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, but I think it's still there. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, but it's gone now. I can't hear myself.
Okay, hold on 1 second. I think there are a lot of. Okay, are you there? You say?
Yeah, it's good. It's good from my end now. I can't hear myself like I was doing. There's no more echo.
Yeah, I think there should be fun. Can somebody see and help out here for those of you that are listening, because it seems to be that there were two audio's channel. Okay, it's clear. All right, thank you so much, Mr. Dixon. Okay, so let's get to this issue here. Okay, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Samba.
Yeah, but before, in fact, when I started talking, I think I made a mistake. I did not make any disclaimer here, and I think I should make a disclaimer before I continue to elaborate.
Now damage control is about to take place here. Let's take the seditions away here, perhaps. I'm gonna respect you here. You are a special guest now. Now, until you ready to do, make a disclaimer here. Let's see.
I think I got in over my head a little bit, but the reality is I do not speak in any official capacity as the spokesman of the CDC.
Okay.
The CDC did not send me here. They don't even know I'm here. I am speaking in my capacity as a private citizen and as somebody who see the issue for what they really are. Now, I created this government in the last 2 years to be doing something very good. I'll give it 60%.
60%?
60%.
How can you 60% be good?
60% is good if you're looking for 100 over 100.
Okay.
You know, so 50% of it's more than 60% is more than a half of grade. So the pass is a passing mark, technically. So the government did pass. There were reasons why they couldn't go up to 80%, and they themselves know. Okay, this government, for the first place, I respect this government is because it allowed tolerance. Tolerance.
To what extent that tolerance is?
Well, to a very significant extent. To the extent where a man can sit on social media, threaten the life of the president, threaten to drag the president in the streets of Monrovia, and still walks in the streets of Monrovia and not get arrested.
Is there any criminality in that when someone does that?
Yes.
Where is that coming from, Mr. Samba?
Well, it is simple. We got few things that the word treason can be attributed to so many different things, and they can be defined in so many different ways, from all legal ramifications. If you tell a president, a sitting president of a country, that you would drag him from upstairs, downstairs, and drag him in the streets of Monrovia. We saw Quilpa being dragged in the streets of Monrovia. So when you tell the president that you would drag him in
reasonable comparisons of what you're saying, within the case of Kuamba, the physical actions was where the physical aspect was executed, not in this case.
Well, who knows? When a man says, a grown man, a man with some level of support, when he comes on social media and said they would drag him down like market dog, who is to interpret what this man really said? Only the law. So
did the law to interpret it?
Yeah. because it could be a treason. It could be a treasonable offense. How are you going to drag the man down like a market dog? You know how we drag market dog in Liberia?
But why did the government, if the government knew that, why did the government did not go ahead to forge or push this here? And we were having multiple tones, multiple voices from the government. I hosted the Solicitor General here who, in fact, admitted emphatically that there was an indictment placed on this guy. And on the other hand, you have the Deputy Minister of Information, Eugene Lamin Fagon. Also, he said he was out for arrest. But now the bizarre thing here, Mr. Samba, and you can bear me witness, the Attorney General, who happens to be the Minister of Justice of the Republic of Liberia, says no charges against him. So how can you reconcile that?
And this is why I'm saying far-sightedness, tolerance. The government knows that in as much as this little boy had made statements that could cause him to land behind bars. They look at all of the different ramifications, the tension in the country, from both opposition and well-wishing Liberians. If we go after him now, at this point in time, where our peace is fragile and our people are looking at things the way they're looking at it, if we go after him now, what may happen?
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Mr. Samba, don't do this yet. Are you saying, so are you saying then the very government that should protect you and myself civil liberties compromise our civil liberties? If they knew very well.
It doesn't hold. And the reason why that statement does not hold is simple.
Why?
The comment the gentleman made, he made it against the president. Okay?
Who is the president in this case?
George Weah is the president.
Yeah, well, no, let's look at his role.
Okay? He's one individual.
Yeah. But everything else was directed at the president and the government, which the president happens to be the overseer of the republic.
And that's what I'm saying. If the man had posed a threat to go through the borders and wage civil war, then that would have been a much more national matter.
So now you are circumvent the threat allegedly you are pushing about this man here because he did not go through the border and he went at the individual, and this individual happens to be the president of the Republic of Liberia, which I see it was in that case that's a serious violation. But now you are put a little bit of lamb on it.
Yes, it was a violation. It was a violation. It was something that could have landed him behind bars. We understand that. The legal arm of the government has...
That's a second suspicious sort of evidence you are trying to give us.
Not necessarily. Watch the video. Watch the video. He even threatened to buy single barrel guns. Like if anybody goes to his place, he will shoot them. But he could have been here for company for that.
I will agree with you, say, if there was a charges brought against him, some of these comments used in the past could be held against him. But here we are, as long as there's no charges, then we'll find out there was no wrong thing committed.
Those charges were written out. The problem is the question the government was asking, with all of the threats that this young man has made, is he capable of following through with these threats?
So what's your answer for that?
He's not. He's not. So because he's not capable of following through with any of those threats, the government said, instead of going after an empty barrel that will make a whole lot of noise, and we have our developmental agenda to focus on, to concentrate on, let us not waste our time following him.
So then why is Mr. Samba is making it out of a talking point here this evening?
Well, I am making it out of a talking point to give the government a props. When a government uses wisdom to calm a situation that could have led to some sort of violence, we got to tell the government, you did something. You understand what I'm saying?
So was that the government did wrong or not?
The government did not do wrong. The government did not do wrong in that particular context. What the government did was let it go for the sake of harmony, for the sake of calmness in the city.
So let me create a supposition here or create some sort of hypothesis here, which is, of course, is not the kind of type of person I am, but based on what I'm hearing from you, you say, and which, of course, Costa said some of ridiculous words that I personally, too, was not comfortable with, but I just do not know to what extent going to the constitutionality of the whole thing, whether it was a crime committed. He went into the country. He was there for 3 weeks. He said all of these things that you alluded to, which of course has the propensity to derail, to cause any havoc in the country. The government did not do anything. The government did not call him for questioning as to what he meant, what he was saying, what was the context, in what context he was saying, and he was leaving them. For example, we heard the government was kind of trying to call him for question. So what happens? All that months, weeks he has stayed in that country. If something had happened, you not telling us the government decided to let it go because he was an empty barrel making noise. What were being, is that what we're going to be talking today?
Let me just say this, Mr. So. The government, regardless of how we view this government today, this government has more classical information than bystanders, political commentators, and self-proclaimed or journalists we have on social media today. Hundreds of them. You're not in that category. You are a well-renowned one. But there are lots of people who get on social media and speak their hearts out, speak with compassion, a lot of passion.
And there's some sort of authenticity into what these people are talking with. What I wish, of course, I agree. Some of them sound bites are very ridiculous. They are not getting to the issues. They are not making the case. If they are the opposition, they are not making the case genuinely to persuade Liberians or the electors, which I really do not trust. But let's be honest here. Are you saying some of the talking points, some of their sound bites, no authenticity in it?
Most of them. The thing on social media is those who have that information that can be verified are those who are not very popular on social media for the most part. I use Gibson, for example. A lot of people think Gibson is with the CDC because when he began to analyze things, he speaks the truth. So people think Gibson is supposed to CDC or he's being paid.
How that selection comes into play, Mr. Alayu? Why Gibson? There are tons of them. They are within the Soho. You seem to giving us some, try to give us some tips here.
Yeah, I'm giving you some tips because there are some people on social media who actually come with documented facts, and there are lots of social media or self-proclaimed journalists who just speak based on the sentiment and emotion, but overall they hate George Floyd. So as a result, you realize that there's a lot of inflammatory things going on social media that has no basis of a simple iota of truth.
Is this sort of inflammatory statement, is it coming from on the part of GOL as well, do you think?
Well, the GOL, there are a couple of them I don't like myself. Eugene Fagon happens to be one of them.
And he's a key person, let's admit, he's a key person in government. He's the deputy spokesperson of the government of Liberia.
I don't know why Joey did that, but that's something for him to bear because Eugene Nangwe is a liability. He's no asset to the party. He's a liability. There are a couple of people within the CDC I disagree with. I do not like their utterances. They are divisive politics, and there's hate mongering. I do not like those people's utterances. Eugene Fagon is on the top of that list. So I do not like to mention him too much because I think I do glorify him when I do so. But what I'm trying to tell you, going back to the achievement of the CDC have created religious tolerance in a great deal. CDC has hired a lot more women than
in the midst of the tolerance, in the midst of the alleged $16 billion, which most Liberians still feel that case is still inconclusive, the mapping up exercise has increased government size to more than 15,000 without a strategic, without a contingency plan, that there have been some sort of economic meltdown. Is that sort of, is that what you're talking to?
Okay, CDC messed up in some places. Nobody can doubt that.
But why are you not pointing out those ills, Mr. Samba?
But I'm getting there. I got you. You wanted to know the positive.
You now almost playing like a car, saying, okay, the president, like he said in his speech, give me some time. We are in the out of the 6 we are into, even though we have not got to the middle. But when do you remember the government that you support to have really conceded to say, hey, Liberian, this is where we are falling short, and we will get that. That sort of honesty, that sort of genuine, has not happened. They have been very defiant and very defensive in all of their position.
The government have considered in many respects. Samuel 12, for example, he has said it many times that we have economic hardship. But what you need to understand, here are the reasons. Here are the reasons. We are fixing it. As we speak, the government is even working on reducing a duty at the Freeport of Monrovia. The government do not want you to buy a car for $3,000 and pay $3,000 to free it from the port just because of some blue book value. The government is doing other things. The problem with the opposition is they refuse to acknowledge this government has hired more women than the previous government that was headed by a female. Do you understand what I'm saying? There are more women in this government than the previous government. The CDC, we're not saying that the CDC had not blundered. The CDC knows it has blundered. But what we must also understand is we're talking about protest all of the time, but the government is listening to us. The government is listening to us all the time.
To what extent?
Well, to the extent within its reach. Just because somebody stand out and say, run and hit the wall.
So, yeah, let's be a little bit practical here. I like the President's State of Union. There were some points outlined by the oppositions of some of the pressure groups, some of the concerns. And I'm not saying to 100% to the top of this whole mountain here that they must meet the demands. No government does that. Nobody does that. But it was a little bit a type of strange that the president did not mention, or am I just going off the road here? Did the president address any of the concerns by the opposition or the COP, for example, as to how, they have been making some recommendation, even though, don't get me wrong, they have screwed up in so many ways and in so many fronts, but the government did not address anything. The president made a commitment to the international community, right, the ECOWAS group, that comes the state of affairs of the nation. He will come out publicly to speak on some of those issues of the oppositions or the COP. It did not happen. Am I going wrong?
Alfonso, the issue of the COP, it is not an opposition issue. COP is an empty drum that has no relevance, has no bearing, and the president of the Republic of Liberia will pay them no mind. Okay? They will pay them no mind. They lost their spine from the moment they decide to become hooligans. From the moment they decide to carry out civil disobedience, the government of Liberia will pay the COP no mind whatsoever.
In your words.
Now, here's what will happen. If the opposition political parties, through their leaders, come together and engage the government in a manner in which that benefits the country, this government is more than willing to work with them. On several occasions.
What is a perfect example? What is a hold on one second, Mr. Samba.
Yeah.
Mr. Samba, hold on one. What is a perfect example of engage the government in a civil manner? What are you saying?
Well, it's simple. Walk to the government. You can go either through the foreign ministry, or you can go through the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, or some of the guys in opposition are friends of George Weah. Even with the little argument that went between the old man Joseph Boakai and George Weah still respects old man Joseph Boakai. If Boakai were to call George Weah right now to his house, George Weah will go to Joseph Boakai's house. George Weah was the first when this whole thing.
President Weah, Doc, Vice President Boakai out recently in a bizarre sort of interview.
That's what I'm saying. Regardless of that, this is politics. We got to understand that some of these things that are placed in the public, behind closed doors, these people are talking. George Weah has Vice President Joseph Boakai's private phone number, vice versa. They talk, they interact. Remember, When George Weah became president, the first thing he did was go to Mr. Booker and ask Mr. Booker to present lists of people that Joseph Booker, wanted in the government. Joseph Booker declined. Even as tyrannic.
What do you think was the basis of rejecting that?
Well, I guess he does not want reconciliation. He does not want reconciliation. Now they're saying that the CDC is bringing his partners in and doing it, but this man went to you in the beginning. You understand what I'm saying? This man went to even as this man gave government positions or allocated positions for Prince Johnson's appointment for the people of Nimba County. Just to have a government of national unity, a government of inclusion. Until now, until as we speak, Prince Johnson have not sent anybody forward to the president. You understand what I'm saying? This president has tried. This president walked to women dancing in front of him. He stretched a hand out to shake a hand. They turned their back on him. He quietly walked away.
Was there any reason, do you think, was there any reason for which they did that, you think?
I think the reason is
why
simple.
would somebody come extend a good hand of faith, good hand of solidarity? And if I'd extend a hand of solidarity to Mr. Sambat, why would somebody just turn his back? Don't you think something else under the sleeves that you don't know, I don't know?
Because Samba has a level of hatred that is immeasurable. Now, here's the thing. You have a complaint. I'm doing something wrong. You are coming to me. I come to you and say, okay, here I am. I'm ready to meet you halfway. Here I am. And then you turn your back at me and walk away. That's disrespect in the first place. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we talk George Weah as if George Weah is the government. Let's understand something here. Whether or not the opposition,
I know in the African setting, the president, the executive branch of government, has the dominion over all branches of government, and Liberia is no exception. Is undeniable.
Alfonso, whose fault is it? Is it George Weah's fault? Listen, the United Party has the largest amount of members in the House of Legislature.
Right.
And the Constitution provides that the legislature is the first branch of government. The president's power.
Are we in a court? The president is taking advantage of maybe these lawmakers, which of course most of them I just do not understand. They are now holding the president. They are a separate branch of government. They are now holding the government accountable. Like we see how the beauty of democracy is being played out here. All right, investigations is going. That's the disappointment, and that's the bizarre thing. And I kept pondering the role of the opposition, and you are quite correct on that. They are in majority in both houses. So I just do not understand where that disconnect is coming from. That some of these things that are just passing without proper scrutiny, I don't know where it's coming from and how they are being compromised.
And I ask again, Alfonso, then whose fault is it? George Weah?
So he's also capitalized on the ill administrative policies of our house, the both houses of government. Is that
this is politics? Politics is a game. Only the wise excel. Okay, so you cannot blame somebody whom everybody criticizes of being dumb and crazy and stupid for using people who have PhDs like Cletus Watterson and all of these other people in there. People who have all of these degrees, and then you want to put a blame on George Weah? It's not George Weah. We have three separate branches of government. It's a separate branches of government. I don't care how we feel, whether or not we feel that the president is responsible for all of the trouble. The Constitution says there are three separate branches of government, and the president do not control any of the other two branches of government by law. So if the House of Legislature that has very few members of the CDC, if the House of Legislature cannot reduce the strength of the president, then I say bravo to Mr. President. He is definitely a political opponent.
Talk to me a little bit, and I want you to, you are a patriotic Liberian, and I want us to stick within that government. We are not like this other network. the party chairman, I don't want to say your party chairman because you made a full declaration here. You are not speaking for CDC, which of course you have the right, like every other Liberian here. Your party chairman, Moluba Molu, how disturbing, how troublesome it is. Those words are coming from that.
It is not disturbing. It is not disturbing. It is not troublesome. The president used the right vocabulary, the racketeers, whoever leaked the video, and it's inadmissible.
Samba, please, look, don't do this here. Come on. Oh, I just lose control here. I'm not sure what happens. I just lose control with Samba. Are you there? Okay, folks, there you have it. Let's see here. We're going to see if we can have a reconnection here with him on this here. Hopefully, we will get him right back here to bring in on Mr. Aliyu. Are you there? For some reason, he went on. Let's see. We just lose that image from him. So, all right. If you are there, just give me a call. Let me see what I'm trying to see to bring you on here, and then perhaps we can use that time to also have callers to come in. So, folks, just bear with me a little bit. Let me see what I can get in on the line. Maybe it's I don't know what that tension mounting on the other side. 3582. Okay, let me call him here by the phone and see. Just bear with us here. Hello? Yeah, okay. Let me see. All right. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Okay. All right. So we just lost control here. So let's just have it on the line here. If I try to figure it out, if I can come back on, that's fine. But I don't think that should stop this conversation here. People have already seen you here, and I'll be able to also take phone calls. The number there is 682-433-8802. If you want to form part, let me just put it up. You can also follow us on YouTube, on Liberia Public Radio YouTube channel. Yeah, go ahead. You were just in the middle of that, and now we got disconnected.
Yeah. So Mr. Moluba Molu's comment, as far as CDC is concerned, is none of void. CDC is concerned, it didn't even happen. So we're giving no special attention.
So, so in other words, from what I'm hearing you, this is not anything that is even balking the CDC, not the president. So, is it fair to say, like the chairman said,
the opposition believe that this is an issue, let them go face the laws.
So, it seems that it's the same liquor talk like the chairman said, correct?
Yeah, as far as we're concerned.
All right. Okay, there you have it. So, folks, I'm trying to put the line, the number up here. So, but you know the number is 682-433-8802. If you want to be part of the talking point here, just I call the number. It's also on WhatsApp, but I just called the number, and we're going to bring you in here as well. Okay, let's look at the president and the principal deputy, the vice president of the Republic of Liberia. What's going on, my man?
There is nothing going on from the side of the president. Mr. George Weah is a clean-hand man who have always stood for the right thing. And people talk about him so much, and the reason why sometimes some of the rumors and speculation tend to appear to be true is because the president doesn't say much. Like you say, he's an action man. Let's check the vice president's track record. Who is the vice president? Is the vice president an honest woman? Is the vice president a patriotic Liberian?
Can you answer that question for me?
Those things. Huh?
Can you answer that? I mean, those are critical questions that you're asking.
Yeah, I can tell you. The vice president, first of all, is not a patriotic Liberian. The vice president is not an honest woman. This vice president is talking about she has not received her benefit for all of this while. Let me tell you the truth. The vice president received her benefit up to December of last year. It is only the month of January, according to inside information. Okay, the vice president said that her vehicle got into a car crash Mr. So, where is the remnants of the vehicle? What the vehicle is? We can't find the vehicle. Why should we replace a vehicle that we can't find? That's one. Number two, the vice president goes pick up some cars from a car dealership and brings it to her office without the endorsement of GSA. Okay, she wants the government to pay for it, but they should pay for the vehicles in her name.
Do you see that as a crime being committed?
For the vehicle under GSA.
Do you see that as a crime being committed?
It's not a problem for the government. I mean, the vice president has been dishonest. She wants to eat, like she said. This was her time to eat. That's what she has been trying to do.
And you guys accommodated that, right?
No. The reason why we have an issue today, the reason why she should be impeached today, is because we refused. The CDC refused, or the government of Liberia refused to allow her to actually eat like she wants to.
So are you saying, Mr. Samba, are you saying the vice president should be impeached? Is that what you're saying?
The vice president should be impeached. What does the law? That's from civil service all the way up. The law simply says that if you are leaving your post for any extended period of time, you must inform your supervisor or your manager, and your absence must be discussed. The vice president left her office for 3 weeks without the knowing of the president.
Is that an impeachable crime under the Constitution?
Yes, it is. And not only that. First of all, she deserted her post to serve the Liberian people. Number two, she's the head of the House of Senate. Her refusal to appear in the session, that alone is also.
Okay, hold on one second. Hold on one second, Mr. Aliyu, Mr. Samba.
Who decide not to actually serve the people like they should, the opposition specifically, because the House of Legislature is dominantly opposition. If they refuse to serve their people, let us stop putting the blame on Judge Weah. It's not Judge Weah's fault that the opposition continue to fail.
Okay, hold on one second. For those of you on the line here to participate, please lower your time monitor. If you are monitoring wherever you are, we appreciate that following the program. But once we get in the volume, it comes back to all, and it becomes a distortion to those that are listening out there. Okay, but hold on one second. I have a few callers on the line. I want to bring them in. Caller tie. There's a very, very familiar number type George here, so always Liberty. He already gave me that easy pass to call his name anytime I see his number. Okay, Pa George, good evening and welcome. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you listen to Mr. Samba here in our conversation that is still ongoing, and one of the bizarre one that I'm hearing, that the vice president should be impeached. I don't know what he's still calling for, but he's calling for the impeachment of the vice president as being someone that is dishonest.
Well, citizen has the view and has the right. If they think that what the vice president doing is an impeachable offense, let Akaya Gray go and introduce a bill so they can impeach her. That's all. When you can give somebody their benefit, when you tell your minister of finance not to give that person the benefit, the second in command in power, and she says she's not going to a session, and you say it's impeachable, I can't do it. It's just simple. Mother stated it. George Weah gave women position which he had fun with. The party chairman said it. He said that George Weah go out of the country and extort money on behalf of the country. The party chairman said it. And nobody has come to rebut that statement. So how can someone tell me that George Weah is a clean man, he's an honest man? No. If he's honest, then let it challenge George Moru. Women in government, Mother has said plain and clear that George Weah lay up with these women to give them position. It's not me who's seeing it, it's on tape. And nobody has come to debunk it. Nobody has come to rebut that statement. But what the president said was a liquor talk. And what they saying like this, they say Jack Drum or Jack Man Fool. So when people are saying these things, It's like they are talking to us that we don't have no sense of direction.
And so let me
That's why they tell us.
so let me flip the coin, and I'll have Mr. Samba the opportunity and the next person to speak. Now, when he's saying that, what does that speak to in terms of the opposition? What sort of message is that sending to the opposition as well in terms of preparation? Because that's a specific tone, that's a court language that they are speaking in, and the people must make a good guess of it as to what to do. So, what do you think is the opposition to what do they need to do?
I think you heard today the opposition reporter today to the president State of the Nation address. And you saw they went item by item. But they didn't just stop there. They reiterated 10 proposals, suggestions to the government recommendation for economic recovery. President Williams spoke yesterday. Did not even mention the governor had been seeing whole week that there's gathering in Monrovia. You saw today your reporter. There was no gas in the country, in Banga to speak of. He did not even mention it. You talk about fighting corruption. 2 years plus not going, 3 years, you are being in power. How many persons that have been brought to book or prosecuted for corruption that you can point to?
Okay.
You know, seeing one thing is seeing it and doing it are two different things.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me give in the chance. Mr. Samba, you are going to give you the chance here. You are the special on this evening here. Let me go to this number here, 973 here, to get the word from there. And I will go to Mr. Samba to respond to all of the questions or what is coming here. 973 number 6707. Good evening, caller. What's your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, hi. Hi, Mr. So my name is T. I'm calling from New Jersey.
All right. Thank you for being here this evening and sharing your thought. Okay, I guess you've been following the program, right?
Yes.
Okay, let me put both my guests and myself on the radar here. Who is messing up here this evening? What's your own view so far? What you have heard?
Honestly speaking, the other the caller that on the phone, yes, I think he had no knowledge when he came on the show, because everything he's saying, he already been biased. Your guest that was on the show, the first thing when you ask the question, he attacked Karen Costa. We're talking about issue that is on the ground. And from what I look at for someone to talk, these are the kind of people that causing we have not to succeed. Because when he doing wrong, they don't tell him it's wrong. You understand? We are in America. If Donald Trump cannot go somewhere, you see his vice president go to represent him. I've never seen this in my life. That a vice president and the president will have this kind of problem, and people supporting the idea. All these people that back in Georgia, maybe they all want something. Your guests that on the show tonight, you have no knowledge of what's going on. And there's another saying that says Jack drunk, but Jack not food. So Molu by Molu tip, he's not drunk. I listened to everything. He's not drunk. So they should prosecute him. They should bring him in front, let him see everything. He's not drunk at all.
So, my dear sister, this is the before I bring in Mr. Sambata to also equally respond to what is coming ahead. This is my own disappointment because what is really going on? What you and I need to know, because the opposition, they are in majority. So why are they not addressing some of these issues, Molu by Molu? Because I said this right the last time, right? Let us put aside who is a sedition, who is not a sedition. That tape, that audio that surfaced, right, is disturbing, and I just don't understand why Mr. Samba was saying it's not disturbing, it's not alarming. That it puts the office of the highest office of the land, it demeans it, and it puts the presidency, the executive down, and he said it's a local talk, and he's still enjoying the privilege as head of the ruling party.
That's it. So if I were then, I would like for me to hear that, to bring him in front there, for him to tell us everything that happened. Because even Joe, He cannot let somebody tarnish a reputation like that and let it fly and say, oh, it's liquor talk. You know what I'm saying? Because that tip can be played other places and people look at it. He was not drunk.
Okay.
We all listened to the tip.
Okay.
So the opposition, with the opposition, like I said, I don't know where they are to. Maybe they're just sitting back to wait for their turn, but they're not doing their job either. Somebody needs to do something because the country is not going in the right direction. Okay. And I listened to Joe. We had speech yesterday. Honestly speaking, I didn't understand a thing out of it until I had to go and read it. Because after a while, it sounds like...
So, come on, let's be a little bit honest here. The 2 hours, are you saying you did not get anything?
No. I had to read it to understand it. Because it feels like it kept on repeating the same thing over and over. I didn't get nothing out of it.
Okay, hold on one second. Yeah, all right. Let me bring in my guest here. Mr. Samba.
Yes.
Okay, is that seems to be some of the hits that you are talking about for the president? Is that these are what you are hearing here tonight?
Well, first of all, let me say I have special respect for George, Amos George. I like to call him my uncle, my grandma people. You know, every time I give myself on Sunday, I always speak the better to him, you know. But the reality here is that Amos George has some level of passionate, I don't want to say a fundamental issue with the CDC. In fact, most of Mr. Amos George exposes clearly indicates that he do not think that a group like CDC should assume such an authority anyway. He does not use the word tiny citizens, but he is of the mentality intellectually tiny to occupy such positions. We observe connotations and not just focus on denotations. And therefore, we know when Mr. Emma George come on and speak on the issue of CDC, we definitely know he's only going to pinpoint the shortfalls. He's never going to tell you some of the success that CDC has carried out. In fact, those are not the kind of investigation that Mr. Emma George does when he called Liberia. He only called to find out how CDC has flunked. Every government has their lapses, and CDC is of no exception. You understand what I'm saying?
But I haven't even heard. I've not even heard anything. Some of the things, bizarre things that happen here, you are being strong defenders of those policies and those ideas. So I don't know what is the wrong one. Maybe do you wish to share that with us?
I have not defended anything bad. Remember, I spoke against Eugene Vagon and some other people, and I've also put this in the hands of the opposition. What I am saying to you is this. What I'm going under the skin, or what I'm trying to show some light here is, you are a majority. You are a majority. You are in the executive branch of government. You have the largest amount of people in the House of Legislature. If you believe that Mr. Morba's comment was something that he could have been held at contempt for, then use the legal process. The opposition claim that they are the most educated ones in the country, right? They are the most scholarly in the country. So why don't you go and find a way to have the court process, the court system, drag Mr. Morba Molu to court? George Weah has made his position clear. He said he's not interested in the conversation. The allegation was leveled against George Weah. The man who our opposition tried to take Panadol for another person's headache. The man who should have been furious. The man who should have been angry. He said he's not going to play into it. Now, if you guys feel for some reason that this is a legal matter, then go to court, right? Hello?
Okay. Yeah. I'm coming to you. Hold on one second when the person finishes. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So that's.
Hello?
Hold on one second. I am coming to you. Someone is speaking. Yeah, other caller here before you. But let me just bring you before I bring in Brother P, Uncle P. Is that Uncle P?
Yeah, this is Uncle P.
Okay, Uncle P, just hold on one second. Seeing this guy, you here with me. Please, Pop.
Okay.
Just hold on one second. Let me bring in this gentleman calling in from Australia, and then I will come right back to you, Uncle P. Australia,
okay,
good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? I believe Australia, right?
Yeah, I'm the good morning, brother. Thank you for that show. But I just want to debunk the fellow, I don't know what his name, who attacked the court for the impeachment of the vice president. What his name?
Well, Mr. Samba, yeah, let's just get to it. Mr. Samba, Aliyu.
Mr. Samba, sorry to use a phrase on you. You are speaking from isolation and ignorance, okay? You guys are the people that want to see problem in that country. When you see what kind of woman?
Let him talk, Alfonso. Let him talk. He's free.
What is the crime that you alleging that Joe Howard committed that she should be impeached? It is because 2 years she had worked and she haven't received a dime from the government. You understand?
That is a blatant lie.
Okay, Mr. Samba, I saw he done that. Hold on, yeah, hold on. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Yeah, but you came up with some strong words here too, even though he allowed. I mean, we don't usually do that. Let us. You can disagree with it. We want to fine-tune message here because the purpose of our network, I don't want to base on other people's network, is for us to find common grounds to these things that are affecting our nation. So I don't like people to go that personal, but when it's on the issue, believe me or not, you can beat them up when they get a wrong policies or won't do. But they'll go ahead. Let's make progress.
Yeah. You see, this guy, he seems to realize that the Sharia guy at the NSA get a Freedom radio station few months back, attacked the lady that Joe Howard could not want to overthrow. How he Samba told his government to establish a preliminary investigation. Why should you guys try to ridicule that woman? We live in Western world, and the women come first. You live in the United States, I stay here, right, in Australia. Women come first. Do you know that if in Australia or America...
I am not here for sentimental issues, my brother.
No, listen,
yeah, just go ahead, make your point, and I will bring you in to respond.
This guy, I think I would just need to stop because you don't want to give me chance. When you were talking, making vague statements against the
go ahead, Oman, go ahead, make your point, and then we're going to break it in.
And you understand? So what I'm trying to say, this lady I worked for the past 2 years, she haven't received a dime. Her office staff thinking she providing indirectly. She's thinking that she will one day get her pay. And she hasn't, you know how the country is very high. And you understand? How do you want the woman to live? You're not taking that into consideration. If the woman having to say that it's her legitimate right to stay home for that day when they send it for how they call it, the legislature or how they are returned. It's because for the public to show concern. You don't know that. It is a legitimate right to stay indoors or stay home. It does not warrant.
Look, are you saying, hold on 1 second here, before I bring in Mr. Samba, are you saying the vice president, it is alleged, I've been trying to follow this here, even though there was a statement, but I have not seen that official, it was posted, and I tried to make a follow-up with the office. So are you saying, like the vice president said, because she was not getting her pay, I see that was she was not even going to go to the State of Union, she was going to stay away, and that was the irresponsible also action by some of the lawmakers to say there was a... So what does that even suggest to the ordinary civil servant teachers who were going on strike? So if they are not getting paid, don't you think there's a process or there's a channel? Somebody must be held accountable. Somebody must be summoned. Somebody must call to answer why. And for they the one to be the forebearer of that. So do you think the vice president was right if that's actually what she said, or unless there was some sort of political attention they were trying to seek?
No, it was not any political attention. It's a violation of her legitimate right. Samuel 12. And
for her to say that she was going to stay away from work, is that a right thing to do?
As I'm just trying to provide a clarity, Samuel 12 responsible to disburse the money, and he deliberately, I think you heard of, there was a leaked video from Molba Molu that Magay trying to ridicule the woman. I will here monitor that video, right? So they were trying to put a woman to a point that maybe the type of utterance she wanted to she should castigate the government, but that's the reason they were holding her salary. How can somebody work 2 years and you don't give her no allowance? She using her own money. The woman was not broke when she went in the house, right? I believe that she has something to sustain herself. So definitely, the government wrong. All those guys, what they are doing, it is not fair.
So before I let you go, before I bring somebody,
nobody can work there for a month, 2 months, 3 months. They don't pay them.
Yeah. Okay.
Clarify that point.
Yeah. Okay. If somebody, no. I will bring him. He will respond. But are you saying so today? If your employer, are you saying if the vice president of the United States or even the vice president of Australia, or whoever the person is, if he or she is not getting paid, they should boycott working? Is that a solution? Is that why you supporting the vice president to do?
The people they are civilized people. They will never infringe on anybody right here.
So Liberia, we are not civilized.
Well, we are people, we don't go by the law. A lot of violations have been taking place. We don't respect the law. We use kangaroo law.
So then the question becomes, how long the vice president here? There were some things that with the president, the vice president, coming other players I don't agree with here, but the idea to say the vice president should stay out of work instead of finding solutions for the civil service. I don't care. Those people get tons of money. Their benefits, they have a lot of money to live with. They don't take pay 1 month, 2 months. It's their business. In fact, they should ensure that people should get paid. But to come here to say because the vice president said we're not getting a pay for 1 month or 2 months, 1 year, 2 years, 2 years, I don't even want to believe that. If it is 2 years, why should you wait up to 2 years? Those people get enough money, and that goes to the lawmakers, 9,000, 7,000, or whatever it is, with those bonuses, and to allow the teachers, the civil servants who making little or nothing, petty change, they were still struggling to get on buses and buying pen pens, walking, going to mentors, our future leaders, going to hospital, and for them, the lawmakers, including the vice president, to state that they were not going to they were not going to work because they were not getting paid. I think that's a disgrace, and I don't think it shouldn't be that sort of politics we should play. I think that's something we must all frown on. That they are not there for the country. They should be the one to make sure. If they feel the Ministry of Finance or the funds are there and somebody is doing something out of the way constitutional to penalize other people, they should be the one to bring them to book. But to be the arbiter and to say they want to stay away, I don't think that was the right thing for them to do.
No, brother, this is a premeditated something that by the CDC government. They were alleged that all the demonstrators that are going on and the Ben happening, the vice president was the person that behind it. So there was
it has not been. Those are second specious sort of talk here. That has not come. It's not proven. So I don't even want to legitimize that.
The money she's using to finance these people, and whereby the woman was. I don't think the woman are ever making support to those people. And you understand? But she a diplomat in her own right. So she really knew. She don't put out no reporters.
No,
people that are making.
Okay, let me.
That radio station need to be closed down because it's not for peace.
I know freedom. Well,
people and they. Can I summarize?
Yeah, go ahead. I want to bring in somebody else quickly.
Freedom FM, they need to be closed because that radio station preaching hate speech, like what happened in Uganda, right? Because when they wake up, they go on that show. They accusing a lot of opposition, and the government cannot call them to book and say, look, do you guys get proof? You understand, but being that they are in support of the government information minister, he just remains silent. And you understand, it is one piece in the country. It is one piece in our country. The law there says, let justice be done to all men.
Okay,
they don't say
all
let
right.
justice be only for the ruling party. No, the war is a global village right now. What anything they do is on the internet.
Okay.
Freedom FM. Yeah, please.
All right, thank you.
For the time, but that particular man there, he had no case. The Samba man.
All right. No, you talk your case. You talk your own case. So you can't say you not get a case. Okay, let me break it. Let me break here. Okay, Mr. Samba, before you see that I had it on George, you didn't make your own case. He said, man, I get a case. Okay, Samba, hold on 1 second. Let me break it. Yeah, let me break into Uncle P. Uncle P.
Yes.
the man from all of the counties. And
Yes.
so, yeah, we are. All your counties now, I don't know what the heck is going on, but let me just bring you in here.
That's why I want to speak on it.
Okay, go ahead.
Your guest that is in your studio, I want him to know that this is his uncle, Uncle Pete, the man from all the counties. Let me say this. If you go on my page, you will be able to authenticate that I have been insulted. Even my mother that is in the grave, I have been insulted for me to telling the people to not insult the president of Liberia, his wife, his family, and government officials in Liberia. That is on my page. I have said it continuously. And even being insulted, and my mother in the grave being insulted for saying that people shouldn't insult the president and his family. Let me say this. The allegations made by Molba Molu, it is not the prerogative of the president to say that he's not going to do anything about it. He's going to leave it because Molba Molu was drunk. The president is our president. He's a public figure for us. He represents us as a nation. And the allegations Molba Molu made against the president is not only against the president, it's against us Liberians. Even we who live in the diaspora, because we are all ambassadors of our country. It is degrading, and it is left. We, the Liberian people, we are demanding that more clarifications made by Molba Molu publicly about those statements made about our president, because it is very, very degrading. Let me tell you, that statement Molba made against the president of Liberia, let me tell these guys that come up and just sing praises on the president and mislead the president. President Weah had a sleepless nights for those statements when he heard those videotapes. President Weah he had sleepless nights for almost a month in Liberia because of those statements made by Molba Molu. Let me just tell you this. I'm telling you fight. And let me tell you, there is a possibility that President Weah might not even run for president 2023. And if he runs, he will be doing it under duress, and he will be reluctant to run. Why will Uncle P say this? President Weah gained popularity in the world as one of the best sportsmen in the world. Just like you see how people hailing Kobe Bryant today. President Weah was more popular than Kobe Bryant. And these guys around President Weah, they are tarnishing his reputation. The fame and the honor he gained throughout the world, they have made President Weah now that they're trying to bring things to him, and he wants to exonerate himself from these guys. He don't want blood on his hands, and they are misrepresenting him by singing false praises on him. This is very, very dangerous for our country. So it is us Liberians who will demand Molba Molu to come and make clarifications about those statements he made by the president. It is not a prerogative of the president because he represents us. It's like somebody saying something about your parents and you say you're going to have justice for your parents. Let me say that. Another thing, let me talk about the vice president. Look, these guys supposed to be advocating for the president and the vice president to have harmonious working relationship. In an organization, when the working relationship is not harmonious, it brings about discord, it brings about confusion, it brings about misunderstanding. These guys that will come up and claim that the vice president must be impeached after they are insane. They're supposed to be pushing unity between the president and the vice president. They are saying these things because they want recognition for the president. They want to be recognized by the president, but they don't know that they are damaging the president. There is no need for any one of them to call about the impeachment of the vice president. Okay? And a lot of things are going on in our country that we all are dissatisfied that they have made and say they should impeach the vice president just because you want to be recognized by the president or you want to protect your job, that you feel that if you say such thing hailing the president and making false statements against the vice president, that the president going to let you retain your position. I think these guys are misleading the president. They are misleading our president, and this is not good for the country. This is just what they did to President Doe. They sent presents on that man. He would have been living today. when the Americans wanted to get him out of the country, and people around him told him not to leave, and he listened to them. So this is what I want to say. Another point, let me just take the last point before I leave.
Yeah, before I bring him on.
I was disappointed in the president's speech that he spoke about practically all the counties. He never mentioned about any road going into Cape Town. He left Cape Town undone. So there is a need for the president to see about paving the road from the Medina into Rawas Court. Let me just say this. I want the people around the president to stop misleading our president. We, the Liberian people, will demand clarification from Mola Molu about what he said about our president. It is not the prerogative of the president to decide. But we, because he's a public figure, he represents us.
Okay.
That's what I got to say.
All right, thank you so much. Let me bring in Mr. Samba. He's been very patient. Let me bring in Mr. Samba. There you go.
Yeah. First of all, let me categorically clear to all of us on here. The CDC under Ambassador Dr. Josh Weir will not apprehend at any level Mr. Molba Molu for the comments they claim he made. He will not apprehend Mr. Molba Molu, and if any opposition believe that Mr. Molba Molu said something that is alarming, okay, to the well-being of the country, you oppositions will go through the legal process, not the CDC and not the executive branch of government. I can guarantee you that. They're not going to. Okay? Let us just establish that fact. And I don't want to do it on a tip issue because you'll be wasting your time. Okay? Now, the vice president made a claim that 2 years he hasn't been paid. Has any of this opposition tried to actually ascertain as to whether the vice president information was true? No. They jumped on it hastily because it was something to bring Josh Weir down. And Josh Weir, being the wise man he is, refused to allow them to drag him into the mud. And this is why he refuses to address some of these unnecessary comments. The president is doing a great job at this point in time. We must all rally and give him the support he needs. Let us forget about our self-aggrandizement. People can sit out in Australia and say, we will demand the president. At what time has the Constitution changed that the people have the right to take matters into their own hands? How did that happen? When did that happen? Are they trying to follow the law? So let people go back to the country, sit there for 2-3 months. Don't only go there with a loaded mindset. Go there to actually have a balanced investigation of things and see. Now, first of all, you go. There's hardship. We agree there's hardship. We agree there's hard time. It's there also. But what is the cause? What is the root cause of the hardship? Can we investigate the root cause of the hardship? We understand the vice president is having a problem with the president, according to what she said. How we took our time to go through the council of churches, the Muslim council, the religious council, to actually go and engage the president, to get the president's side of the story without insulting him and levying allegations without any findings? Have anybody done that? Have anybody thought to do that? Why are the opposition not balanced? So you see reason why, Father, you see reason why some of us feel obliged to come to the rescue of the president. Okay?
Yeah.
This is why some of us have come to the president's rescue, because people are saying too much about him without knowing the actual truth. Look, Alfonso, look, I can respond to you based on how you ask me. If you insult and denigrate me, before you decide to ask me questions, I likely might not answer you. And this is the problem a lot of these people are facing. It's not that the president cannot speak in detail about some of the accusations that they put out there, but the president do not talk about this thing because you finish insulting him. One, you finish concluding you know the answer. Let's talk about the 16.5 billion issue. There have been every finding that the 16.5 billion issue is fairy tale, is imagination, doesn't exist. The opposition 100%.
Yeah, so let me ask you.
It exists.
Do you think the government has adequately, in her own time, to bring the citizenry to the convincing point of this alleged 16 billion that is reportedly missing, do you think they have taken their time to articulate, to explain, to get to the bottom?
Yes.
Instead of just
Yes,
kind of...
It is hard to convince people who have a loaded mind. The people are loaded. How can you convince somebody who is already loaded? Okay, yes, this is what we're saying. The simple court proceeding. Let's say, for example, the burden of proof is on the accuser, right? So if the government comes out and says no 16 billion missing, you say 16 billion is missing. What is your proof that 16 billion was missing? The only thing you can say here is to say, oh, there was a container report. What container? What color was the container? You know nothing. You're going by what you heard. It's all hearsay. They say, she say.
So you
Nobody
see,
have the facts.
so in other words, before I bring in the next person, you see this as some sort of a conspiracy against the president or the government?
The whole thing, the opposition have not stopped. The opposition have not stopped. In fact, they have planted one little boy in Delaware who is a college student to risk his everything. They're using him to go under the president's skin so that the president will do what they want, in which means they can bring him to public ridicule. And the president is a smart guy. He has realized that. He's just turned his back to the whole thing. None of these things has the president involvement. Even the immigration issue with that boy, the president is not involved. He's doing complete different. You look at what happened this few days also, Mr. So. The president is a football man, a lover of football. He has reached his peak. He's an icon of the game. Okay? He tried to bring some sort of enthusiasm in Liberian football by playing a role in the country meet. Just so that this is the first time you have 40,000 Liberians at SPB Sports Stadium watching the country meet. The first time in the history of Liberia. The president was because of the president's involvement. And you know what people say? The man bought game, the man gave vice commissioner green envelope, brown envelope, he bought the game, all kinds of stuff. There is nothing that this man does that is correct, even if he has the best of intentions.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Thank you so much. Let me bring in this number here, 212 number. You've been very patient, and I will come back to my dear sister.
Hello, Mr. Solo.
Yeah, 212-2082. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening and good evening to all.
Good evening. How are you?
Thank you, Mr. So. And thanks to your caller who just left the line. I think there was a caller who said 60%, but I think I will grade him 90. Yes, because your caller who just left the line, he vividly touched almost everything. As you can recall, happening now in Liberia, all started from 16 billion. And looking at what happened there, you can tell that it was premeditated just to denigrate this government even before they take power, to show that this president is so smart, to prove them wrong. He even invited foreign investigators about this matter. And when the Crow report came up, they said, oh, the white people taking side with the president, the American, the British. I said, are you kidding me? If these people, the American and British, taking side with the president, who on earth are you going to trust now? Who on earth are you going to trust? So this whole thing, Mr. Soul, is all about just printing him wrong, and they are shooting themselves in the leg. They continue to shoot themselves. I heard Uncle P talking about the next election, the president have no chance. Who in Liberia right now? Which of the opposition in Liberia right now can even win a district and during election time? Has he forgotten
besides
that
the president? No one.
This young man won 14 counties, all of 15. And somebody said the vice president has not taken salary for 2 years. Who is the head of the entire house? How possible is that for all members of House of Parliament to take salary and their head don't take salary?
That's a complete baloney. I don't buy into
How
that.
possible is that? Are these guys still sleeping?
Even when she doesn't even take pay, I'm not to cut you off. I mean, I concerned about the ordinary teachers, doctors, and civil servants, those janitors that even when they're salaried, they can't get those fabulous bonuses to still go to work to keep government running. Instead of people who preside and people who are policy maker who can get something done to say they were staying away boycotting, that I don't agree with them.
But Mr. So it's like the principal of the school not taking pay, the janitors taking pay, the teachers taking pay, even the gatekeeper taking pay. So these guys need to wake up from their slumber. Look, we have reached to the point now that they keep shooting themselves. They cannot solve this problem. All they need to do is to join the government, the president, and let's move this country forward, Mr. So. Look at all the projects that have been undertaken by this government in 2 years. The total road work that have been done combined, equivalent to the road work that have been done since 1847. The people keep saying it. And when you accuse, as one caller said, the evidence of any crimes, the evidence lies on the accuser. The evidence lies on the accuser. All that they're saying, where are their proof? In fact, they said when you ask them about this 16 billion, they say, what is the proof? They say he's building houses. So is that the proof? Because he's building houses? What's about the old money that left on the market and the new ones were injected? What country in the world have done that you know about? I've just left Liberia this gone or two. There are multiple money on the market. Even Charles Taylor, who was shooting gun, he printed money. He made sure all the old money was out before his own money was infused.
Okay.
Same thing with Taylor. So they now who denigrating the president and the president. Who's smart now? It was that a smart idea? These guys need to wake up from their slumber. The president is greater than 90%. He's greater than 90%, and I applaud him. And I think if we're not careful, the Liberian people will have referendum that he ruled on the left. I mean, on the remaining of his left.
Okay, all
and
right.
I can see that coming because none of them stand chance.
Okay, yeah. I mean, they
are disarray, fighting among themselves.
Okay, well, all right.
I did not say that the president cannot win election in Liberia. That's not what I said. I said the president might not. Uncle Bill, man.
Hold on now. Hold on. Hello. We don't argue here. Hello, Uncle P. Listen, we try to. Yeah, I was on bringing a lady. Oh, really? Yeah, okay, I'm going to come to you because the two men voices now trying to over each other. So let's bring the lady here to make the deal here to be the peacemaker before I go to Mr. Samba here. Are you there, madam?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
All right.
All right, you have me on hold, but I don't know what that man carrying on fighting with the man. The man didn't say he would never win. You see, all these people, they're the one lying to George.
Thank you.
You understand? He claimed he was there like 3 months ago, like there. Why the people looking for gas? Why there is no gas in the country? I don't know what your guest speak. I mean, your guest, what your name?
We haven't even touched that gas on here.
Okay, what your guest? The guy that in the studio with you, what's the name?
Mr. Samba.
Whoever. Somebody. I always think I thought it was Mr. Kamara, but I think somebody.
Yeah, Kamara. He's still the same.
Yes. These people are the ones that will make sure we are down for. If they don't like it, that's my fact. Because in your household, who is the head of the household? The parents. Wherever your parents say that what goes, I know you live on a marvel. Joey is the head. Taylor and Joey are supposed to work together, hand in hand. But these are the kind of people that will cause problems in the country to say, don't work with her, she got this, she got that. And then another thing is that if the opposition is so educated, why they can't take Malu to court? So are you trying to imply that we are not educated, that's why they say we're not be brought to court? You're still trying to use the conquer and country. We're in the 21st century. You wake up. You don't move the country forward. I know you're trying to find a job with your real. And you will give it to you. Because
You say why he's trying? Why is he trying to do? He's trying to.
Looking for job.
He's looking for a job.
Everything you say is not true. I'm personally on this view. That one Christmas I moved close to 2,000. I had to do 25 for grown men. They should be working. That's not my job. To support 40-year-old. That's not my job. To support 30-year-old. That's not my job to send people to school. That's why your president supposed to create jobs. You start sitting there like a cheerleader and cheering for him when things not going right. Okay? It's not right. Yes, sir, we should build up the country. All of us should be on the same page. When it's wrong, it's wrong. Javier is like a customer service. He's the employer, and he's the employee. We are the employee. So whatever the employer says to the employee, they should do it.
Yeah, okay.
Like
let me play the devil.
Say you become president, nobody can say nothing.
Yeah, okay. Auntie, hold on 1 second. Let me play the devil advocate here a little bit here and see whether it will sound ridiculous or not. And I don't usually, Mr. Samba. Hello, are you hearing me?
I'm listening, sir.
Yeah, okay. So the argument of Mr. Samba here, which of course I see some kind of line of reasoning, maybe I don't know to what extent in the entire context of it, how you're saying it, but for the oppositions or those in the Senate, right? I know it came out once, but and that's the thing. We are not. We don't usually conclude. We don't usually end what we start. Because I think Moluma Molu's statement, and it will favor the CDC, but I think the opposition, especially those in the both houses, this is where people can build consensus. The need to call this guy here, that's not his first time. This is the same man here. And I remember a year ago on a Sycamore tree, there was a conference and we went there and he said that the people were planning to kill the president. And I personally asked him, I said, who playing? He said, oh, no, Cummings. But I said, I didn't hear Cummings saying it. You are saying it. So where are you getting this information? All right. But he did that. He did that and he got away with it. Nobody calls him in to seek clarification for him to clarify his statement. We don't want to adjudicate him in the absence of not giving him the fair chance to something. So why are these opposition, why are they not strategic? Why are they not far-sighted to do these things? So it gives some of us the feelings that they are not even prepared to lead. Because if they can't get hands on some of these things that the sea is so down, putting down, then it's troubling. It's troubling. Then they're trying to tell us George Weah is doing better than them, which of course he's making some ridiculous policies and they are not getting to it.
Mr. So is true, but at the same time, everybody in that country that work in the government, all of them compromise. So we don't know who good or who.
So who would do it now?
Let me say something. Instead of your guest, Mr. Kamara, attacking Aaron Costa going to school, maybe he should go to school too. Because I don't see what Aaron Costa got to do with what he's talking all day today on the show.
But listen, here is the deal. I will bring somebody. No, listen.
You should go to school too.
Okay. So, Mr. Samba. Mr. Samba.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, let me ask him.
Go ahead, go ahead, let it on.
You're being very petty. You sound like you're talking about an issue they call you for. Your opening statement was Aaron Costa, everything Aaron Costa. Why can't you talk about an issue? Leave me alone. Whether you're a low boy or whatever, he's 37 years old, you're a man. You're a young man. Focus on the issue.
But, yeah,
hold on. You're behind him. If you see he commit a crime, America got treated. Send the paper to America, they didn't send him back. That's what people do.
So yeah. Ante, excuse me, 1 minute. 1 minute. Let me come in. Okay, let me come in a little bit here. I think now we are almost gradually pivoting in the directions of the sedition, because when people call George, we are needing. No, hold on. They can't come in here, baby, now too. Because when people call George, we are the seditions are upset. But let's also bear in mind, Costa now is in the spotlight in the political discourse of Liberia. So anytime his name. So anytime his name can be injected, because what he has embarked on is extraordinary. It has got to some level, so he has become a figure in his own right. So people also bear in mind Samba and other people who are maybe supporting the government's agenda to see him as the person who is getting in the throat of the government. So obviously, don't be surprised that when we're having this sort of discourse here, that his name will always be called. So when you start getting upset,
attacking him personally.
Well,
I think he attacking him personally because Joe, we are starting his church. And say he and Aaron Costa go on Ashman Street, he get beaten or so. Aaron Costa was judging that market dog. So what wrong with that?
But I think Costa has spoke for himself on that. Okay, so Samba, let me just bring Samba in here before I think Uncle P, there's a reason that he called back. Samba.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Mr. Samba, you want to come in now, or let me just everything comes and then you just bucket it up.
Yeah. If my uncle say he want to come in, who am I to say no?
Yeah.
I think they need to. I think they need to send you.
Uncle P, not you. I'm talking about Josh.
I think they need to send you to they need to send you to how they call press and public affairs, because you have little tolerance when it comes to addressing some of these issues. So, Pa Josh.
Yeah.
Okay, I think your name was called into this thing here a lot.
Yeah, I think my nephew, I think he liked me. We got to settle. They wanted to have some debate. I think he liked me.
Okay.
Here's the thing here. Here's the thing here. Joe Howard Taylor, I think I'm on the record for going after Joe Howard Taylor for statements she made in Bonkale and what have you. But if you have a radio personality, work for someone who is in the national security apparatus, go after the vice president personally in your private life. And Mr. Sama is saying there's nothing wrong with that. Thank God to Mr. Sama. But it shows you the society in which that we want to build. What example are we setting for our children or younger generation to follow? If a young man can go after a woman, insult her personally, not politically, but personally, and Mr. Sama said there's nothing wrong with that, perfect. Let me reach this other issue. What is the cause of the hardship being like that? There's nobody denying that there has not been hardship in Nigeria. But when you take power, your policy that you introduce will change the direction of the country. President, we have not done anything economically to change the direction. Inflation was 30.7%. It's now, he said, 26%. That is high. Government is not there to create jobs for everybody. But government should create the atmosphere that will encourage private investors to come to invest in which they will provide jobs for their citizenry. That's why I believe in, and every time economy will tell you that. But when you have government, he spoke about the 16 billion now was a fantasy, fiasco. The crime report said it was inconclusive that the government needed to go forward. President William himself set up a commission. We came out with its report, implicated Samuel Tuer and the lives of order. What had the president done? He set up an investigation team again to look into it. We told he has a report but cannot submit the planning. The local report came. He sat down on it today. There's nobody to be prosecuted for that. Then you tell the world that you're fighting corruption. He says, how can you reconcile those statements? Now, the other issue here, you talk about his president spoke about no political prisoner in jail and why. Yes, that's true. But you see the government going after critical voices in the life of Mandarin College, Henry Costa, and today now they are orchestrating to remove the vice president. When the leader spoke at the July 26th, they attacked her. Yeah. So the president can say this thing, but the reality there is not, it's fallacy. It's not true. The election, to this, let me just close on the issue here. President Weah said he won 61.5% of the vote, which was true. But the two elections, President Weah never won Bonga, and never won Lofa, and never won Magidi. And he placed the vice president today on the ticket. He won those counties except for Lofa. But because, as Mobile Molu said, they now want to silence her, they want to ostracize her, to get her out of power. That is the reason that they're doing all these things. President Weah said in his state of address that during the 12 years of CDC existing in Liberia, it was non-violent. My nephew, can you attest to that? When you put tire in the street and burn it, you take woman on the floor and put tomato in the street.
Yeah.
And you say it was non-violent.
Yep.
Can that live up to the test? No, it doesn't. So look, I just want to say this. My nephew says I'm from my posting or whatever, he know that I'm against George Weah. I am not against George Weah, but I am against bad governance. And that is where I come from. When there is issue, I will discuss it. If the president do well, I will give him the credit. But I will not sit down here to sugarcoat anything that I know is not right. So my nephew, that's my point. But before I leave you, sit down in your corner and think back and look at Joel Howard. Not Joel Howard as a Joel, but look at the office of the vice president. If someone go on a tirade into a vice president's personal life, what will you do? Is it okay? If it is okay, then my nephew, the night is all yours.
Please, Mr. So let me just make somebody said something that I didn't see. One of your speakers.
Everybody want to do damage control. So now you're coming make. Okay, thank you. You're coming make allow you to walk on your now.
I'm done with your wife for sure.
All right, thank you, man. Thank you so much for calling in and participating.
I hope Joe, I get your guest a job by the end of next month. That'd be really needed. And Helen Costa is not a boy.
Alfonso, before I forget, Mr. Emma Judge made some point here. Mr. Emma Judge made some point here that I needed to just give an overall response to.
Okay.
Uncle George, we have a country of law and not country of men. If for any reason, Alfonso, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm listening to you.
If for any reason, Mr. George, somebody feel disenfranchised, somebody feel unlawfully denigrated, for any reason whatsoever, feel that their rights or their privacy have been encroached upon, Uncle George, there is a procedure. It doesn't matter what the person's economic, social, or political status is. The court system is there.
But the court has been controlled by
you there. I can't comment to that because then that means your judiciary, that means your legislature, which is dominated by you people, that means you are not doing your job. Okay? So we can't blame George Weah for everybody else's failure in the country. We just cannot. So if somebody goes into Joel Howard Taylor private affair, there's a law about that. Joel Howard Taylor, I understand she did some sort of law.
Do you sanction that statement? The question I said, do you sanction that statement? Is it right?
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I feel.
I'm not talking about
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how I feel. Here is one thing. Another thing I want you to understand.
No,
the vice president was not elected.
Let's do it with
elected along with the president. The vice president was elected on the ticket of the president. Let us understand that. Let us stop equating the vice president to the president. The only time the vice president has power is if the president refer such power to her or him. That's the only time the vice president has power. So let us make that clear.
No,
okay, because the president and the vice president are supposed to be this, they have to be that, they have to be this. The president have the right. The president has the right to corner the vice president. Unless the president assigns the vice president's position is redundant.
So okay, so then Samba, then let me ask this question here, and because I think this is where the discontent and this satisfactions kind of like surface aimed between the two leaders, the president and the vice president. And I know from time to time that there's some sort of assigned responsibilities, but I just do not even know as of current. What is the role? What is the assigned responsibility? Because there are some responsibilities being apportioned to the vice president. We saw the lottery. Okay. Besides the House of Senate, traditionally the lottery, the group of 72nd, all of those are under the supervisions of the vice president. So now those things were removed. So why you think, was there some sort of apprehension that the executive feel?
That's what I just said. At the will and pleasure, if the president decides to give the
hold on.
Listen.
Yeah, no.
Listen to me. The vice president does not have any statutory function other than being the president of the Senate.
Right.
Every other function of the vice president is given to her by the president. You need to understand that.
Leo, that was not just moved by the president. It was moved by the House. It was not something that the president just said move it. No. He went to the
I did not say the president said move it. You just told me that the president runs everything. That's what you told me. Now you yourself. Now you're telling me again that it wasn't the president who removed it.
Okay.
It was the House that removed it. So you are agreeing with me. You are agreeing with me that the House does have power.
No, Ali, you get
Okay.
wrong.
Let us have the discussion in order. So let us do it orderly.
To have those institutions removed from the vice president. He submitted it. The president submitted a bill to the speaker.
So what are you saying then? I said he removed it. You said no.
I'm trying to tell you. This is what I think he was. These I think he started to sideline the vice president, taking her away a function.
Pa George, you see those actions. Those were some of the initial signs that we saw friction was coming, and nobody really picked at it to get something done. And what you said is quite correct, and is also within the purview of the president to extend responsibilities. But that was weird because she already had those responsibilities, and for us to see those responsibilities being gradually pulled off from under her leg, that was a signal that something right was not happening. But we did not all signal that we didn't know.
It was her time to eat Alfonso, and the president was afraid to
what happened? There's an act that created Group of 77. There's an act that created National Lottery. And the Constitution provides that the vice president oversight those issues. So what
No, which part of the Constitution, Mr. Judge?
How the Group of 77 was created? How the National Lottery
Well, no. You said the Constitution gave that those authority to the vice president. I said, give me.
No, those things they are assigned. That is exact. That's the president.
The statute.
Yes, but it's still under the president. They're still under the president.
No, what happened, Pa George? It's not a statutory law. Like to say it's a provision in the Constitution to say this it should be strictly elected. Let's get it right here. But so it's like it had been sort of custom. We are accustomed to it because from time to time, the vice president is also always in charge of that. But what I'm saying here, it seems that we did not grab this sort of friction or something that was developed, whether there was lack of trust on the part of the president when the vice president traveled before, whether that warrant the decisions of the president to begin to pull those sort of responsibility on the vice president. That's sort of that's something all of us we did not pick up. Maybe it was just happening so gradually. Other people knew about it and nothing much was done. Now it has become full grown and it's just spilled out in our faces.
Yeah,
you blame Mr. George and you blame Mr. George then for that thing that didn't want to sit down there or didn't want in the house.
Oh no. Now you see, Ali, let me address the issue about your house. You know that every issue. No, I know you know that every issue you raise in the house to put anything on the floor. The speaker in the House of Representatives, the speaker must go to the clerk to bring that agenda on the floor. Once the speaker don't do it, you cannot put anything on the floor. And Mr. Angel, you know that. That is the parliamentary procedure. So you can stand up and yell in our for nothing.
So in other words, Mr. Pa George.
Pretend.
So in other words, from what I try to sense out here, the speaker has sanctioned some of these things that are supposed to go on the floor. Is that what you're saying?
The speaker has sanctioned everything. Anything that you bring, anything they try to bring on the floor, that to question President Weah.
So why are you calling Joe Weah me? You're not calling the speaker me. Why only Joe Weah? Why are you not calling the speaker? Why are you not calling the House of Representatives?
So let me just give you an example. When Mola's statement, this guy Keslu brought a letter on the floor to be read. One of the supporters from the CDC representative said that they talked that Mola said that was a legal talk, and that would not be allowed on the floor to be for any discussion. And the speaker sanctioned it. He agreed. So you can see.
Then who fought that Joe Weah fought?
No, Alio, let me tell you something. This is why I said it last time. You know, the last time I said that only in Liberia this thing happened. Because I said,
and the speaker that said degree holder?
Hold on, Alio. I said that the CDC government was not in majority in parliament. But because the people corrupt, they took the speakership, they took the president pro tem, and the vice president, and gave it to the president pro tem and the speaker, and gave it to George Weah.
Who gave the majority of the people in the House that are opposition? So who made the people speaker and Senate pro tem?
But that's something that is done, Mr.
Because you're running around something here that's not getting anywhere. The people in the House of Tommy Mamula have been the opposition. The opposition made a CDC man Senate pro tem. The opposition will make another CDC man Speaker of the House.
I don't even get it.
That's what I told you. This is what I'm saying. I said that's the question I'm raising. I said because the opposition were corrupt.
I want you to answer that question. Don't tell me you wanted the opposition.
But wait now, why you can't give it to land? You ask a question, and I'm seeing what you saying.
Okay, so let he get it out of it. So let he get it. Okay, so let he get it out of chair. But Mr. George, let me just interact with you. Let me just turn the wheel here a little bit. So then, what was the strategy? Because sometimes it kind of like I wonders why it is going, because the opposition they should be able to have a voice that to the extent that the executive branch and the judicial branch should be held accountable. Are they not building consensus? Is everybody just going by their own? Can't we see what, this sort of a consensusship that is being built here, working across the party are? Now, even with the Darius Dillon, I'll come in 1 second. I will give you a chance to respond. Now, with all of these things that we are talking about, okay, George Weah is the elephant in the room. That is, we all agree. But let's take a little step back here too. These people are there. They are elected people, all right? So why are they not even doing what is right? Like, listen, the other day, civil servant people were protesting. Can you imagine the lawmakers then? They said too because they didn't get their 4 months pay, people who getting those useless money. I mean, which of course is a surplus. I see them as unconscious people for the ordinary civil servant, the messengers, the cleaners, the people who walk, get on pimping, and they in their dyed-tinted glasses, scratch cars, bonuses, their cooks are all on salary, 10, 15, some of them not even working, but still, all of this is just robbing the government. So why are these people are not even having a sense of caution too to do their part as a separate entity of government? Why are they not doing that?
Mr. So only 2 words to describe these people. Yellow grieving and grieve.
So then is it fair for then so that they outsource themselves to what? To George Weah? Is that the case or what?
Of course.
Okay, if this is the case, we get October yet, senatorial race is still at stake. We hope and pray that there should be money. Of course, it's constitutional that those elections should take place. Now, 15 seats are at stake. Only one is retiring. I'm wondering, with all of these rigmarole and all of these biggerings and these soundbites and all the things that are happening, is the opposition making an adequate preparation, right? If we see it as the precursor or an antecedent of this whole government way of doing things, as we're saying, the president is having leverage over the. Is this the opposition? Are they say, okay, these people we have there, but they are not for us. But there are 14 or 15 positions going to be at stake. part of that is to start making adequate preparation as a prelude to send a strong message to the ruling party. Are they doing that now, as far as you are concerned?
No, they're talking about Joey here, Joey Abba, Joey Lit.
So I cannot speak for any political institution in Liberia because I do not have an inside or personal connection with any political leader in Liberia. But what I can say that for me, I will be in Liberia. We have to conscientize our people. We have to continue to educate our people because I posted something today. The people, for me, I would make reference to Bone County. I said because the people continue to elect criminals, corrupt officials in Bone County. And the only way we can make them in that thing is by we being present and trying to educate our people, to talk to them. Because they don't do so.
So, but Joyce, yeah. Besides talking to all, we have these political institutions or these people, they are the interest group that are representing us somehow directly. You and I can play the very limited role as an individual, but when we have this opposition, who we can foresee to be the one to be checking on governments of doing the right thing, if they can even put forward credible people, then that's a serious problem.
Of course. And this is why some of us are seeing that it's not just bashing George is the answer to the problem, but we should now start looking at the opposition, putting it under a microscope to see what or whom they are putting forward. Because we cannot continue producing corrupt people into position. Because they're not incentive, because these people go there.
Okay, so we come and change the topic. I want to play a video to Mr. Ali, Mr. Samba, and other listeners to it, because I see this is one of the potential, that would be one of the contested race. And CDC, from what I've been told, is doing everything possible. And I could be wrong, but probably Mona Youngblood, Representative Youngblood, might perhaps could be the one to be planted against Darius Dillon. Why? I want us to listen to this here, her recent statement, and we'll come back to that discussion.
I am sending the message. It broke my heart when I lied in my hospital bed and I saw rats were running around when the cats were lying in hospital. There will be no mouse. Powerful speech. No little rat will dance around. No way. All the moped that were dancing to Tom and Jerry music, please note that the cat is here, the wild wolf. Yes. When I see you, you're not supposed to be to the place you will be. I am the cat. I have returned. I will eat you all. I listened to the Senator Darius Dillon. I listened to the Senator of Monserrato County, Darius Dillon, addressing a partisan of mine in person of Abu Kamara. He spoke to the press and he told the press Abu is not in the same league with him. I stand with you, Mr. Dillon. I agree with you that you and Abu is not in the same league because I'm a witness to Abu graduating from high school. You are not in the same league with Abu, Mr. Dillon. I agree with you 110%. Yes. Because Abu has a wire certificate, bring yours. So, it is true that you are not in the same league with him, because to enter Abu league, you must have wire certificate, yes. You must have high school diploma, yes. You must show me your high school teacher, and you must show me your classmates. I send an open debate to the Senator of Monserrato County. Show me these 4 things and I will consider you in the league of Abu Kamara. But until then, I agree with you. You're not in the same league.
All right. There you have it. There, Representative Monant Youngblood of Monserrato County, after from her sick leave, that was the assault she went on against Darius Dillon. Perhaps one can say a prelude to the 2020 senatorial race for Monserrato County. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mona Youngblood, if CDC were to put forward this man here. Samba, let me just bring you in here. Do you see?
Can I just make this clarification?
Hold on 1 second. Hold on, Papi. Hold on.
What I said.
Hold on 1 second. Eh? Who's that?
I said something about the president, and one of your speakers came
Oh no,
and said
listen.
something different from what I said.
Yeah,
And I
well,
want to
hold
just
on.
make that clarification.
Hold on. Once this the damage control party will never come to an end. Let me not get this distracted here. Let me bring in the person. We'll come to that because we on different thing here now. So, Aliyu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, and from what we're saying here, is it possible for one to make an educated guess game here that Monant Youngblood could be potential person to be planted against Darius Dillon with that sort of soundbite, that sort of kitchen sink? Are we going to see more of this coming as we get closer to the senatorial, the races in the 15th political subdivision? Do you have an idea? Do you have an idea, or maybe friends of within the hierarchy? Is that something they are contemplating on?
Well, no. The only thing I can tell you is a orchestrated political strategy by Mrs. Mona. She has been out of the landscape for a little while, so she had to gain some sort of relevance by attacking the person who she believes has some level of population in the Maserati County area. So now she has become a household name again, and she's all over the media, the radio station, the TV station, and social media. And that was the intent, and it worked out pretty fine. But I can't tell you for a fact that the governor will send anybody. The president is very unpredictable on these matters, and he does not get involved with stuff like that. It'll be up to Mrs. Mona to determine whether she wants to relinquish whatever position she has at this point in time and go for that position. That'll be totally up to any.
So basically, there's some sort of dirty work she was doing on her own as a steward of the ruling party to get to the spotlight. And media loves people with drama, and those are the kind of things that we in touch with, people who get this kind of thing. And that's the kind of person Mona Youngblood is. So do you think that was something her long stay away was come and create something that people focus, cameras will focus on her?
That's all it was. She had no intent to denigrate Mr. What's the man's name? Mr. Darius Dillon. Mr. Darius Dillon is a patriotic Liberian. He's a qualified Liberian. He's a well-meaning Liberian like any other, like Miss Mona herself. But she had to do that because looking at everybody, Darius Dillon is the only person who's going to be running for that position again who stands a chance. So who could she go after to create her relevance, political relevance? So she played the card well.
What could be this inside strategy of CDC? Because that Maserati, they when they lose that was heartbroken, and that was something that's really stuck within the CDP. Are they working aggressively to regain that? Because those are some of the things that he's there. He's just going to be there temporarily to take care of that. But the rightful owner, CDC has claimed from time to time they are the owner of Maserati County. Do you still you see it that way as we speak in an honest faction?
Yeah, CDC still control Maserati County largely. The reason why things happened the way it happened during the Darius Dillon campaign was because of complacency. At that time, CDC public relations missionary had become so content and complacent. So only the opposition was being heard. Only the opposition was disseminating information. Whether or not those information was true, those were the information that were being consumed by the general public. So they had to go with what they knew and what they heard. As you see, CDC information machinery is changing, is gearing up, and they tend to be organizing themselves in a function in which is very vigorative.
Okay, so Pat George, and before I come to P here, I am concerned here that from time to time we'll be focusing on George Weah. Of course, he's the president, but he has some other cardinal issues we need to redirect our attention so that we can just be get distracted here. Now people are saying, okay, some people are coming to the conclusion that the 2020 senatorial race is constitutional. I don't care what happened. Government will have to fund the funding. Is the opposition acting lazy? Are they playing deaf ear? Now, okay, yeah, the drawing conclusion and no money, so maybe those races would never take place, and they are not making preparation. They do not know the strategy of the ruling party in terms of the aggressive preparation they are making on the ground. Is the opposition making a big mistake here? I'll tell you why. with some of our frowns, but there are some these little rules, whether it's 2 miles, it's 3 miles. There are some things resonating with the electors. I just do not trust the Liberian electors, the voters. So if they do not pay attention, believe me, and if CDC out of these 15, if CDC managed to put up some candidates and get more than 10 or 7, 8, that would be a momentum. That would be a good talking point that potentially could roll over. And if the opposition is not far-sighted to begin to start vetting people and start talking to the Liberian people, the voters, on these core issues, the things that matters, and some of the things that government doing to be that persuasive, if they can't do it, that would be dangerous. We will, after 2023, we'll come right back here and be talking another. We'll come back to the same talking point. Am I going wrong here?
No, you are right. But I think the last time I overheard Senator Dillon, he's not taking that light, because the other day, I think, during some press briefing, he stated it clearly that he's ready for Maserati. So that will take that since he got his cues together, because I think from the statement from Honorable Youngblood can tell you exactly how that race is going to be played. Whoever, whether she will run or not, I don't know yet. But the mere fact that she can align herself with Abu, this man who stole from the Liberian people, and she can align herself with Mr. Abu, that tells you something. And it's the same thing. Our Youngblood represent the district I come from. There's nothing that she can show for. But the idea, if the opposition don't do the homework, as you're saying, will come right by these people will be in power. So it's not just saying it. People have to get on the ground. What they say, got to put the boot on the ground. Because the CDC now is getting prepared. And
what I know, one good thing I know, CDC got a die-hard loyalist. Rain, sunshine, the day.
So if you sit down there and say, oh, the Liberian people, they will not just do it, no. These guys got a machinery 12 years. They did not relent. So if you think now they got state power and they will just fall a hand and people just come and walk over them, no way. So that's a caution to the opposition to start the game, be on top of the game.
Okay.
Because CDC will throw anything in the kitchen, they will throw at the wall to maintain Maserati or any other subdivision.
All right, right on top of the hour, we'll be wrapping up. Let me go to the man from all of the county. He wants to do some damage control here, and I will go back to Aliut to tell us here to see what is the artificial scarcity of petroleum products in Liberia. Front page yet, like I was told today, that Liberia, the government of Liberia, has some of our own obligation here, but I see it and from front page here, 8 p.m. terminals put restrictions on ships coming to Liberia. Okay, the man from all the county, Private Uncle P.
Yeah.
So
I made a statement, and one of your callers came on and misconstrued the statement I made. He took my statement out of context.
Yeah, when you be president of Liberia, I think anybody says something, you call press conference right away to fix it. So go ahead.
No, but I think it's necessary that I make the correction.
Okay.
I never said that the president of Liberia cannot win election in Liberia, and that's what he said. I never said that.
Oh, I think somebody validated your point that you didn't say that here. I thought we'll talk about that.
Did it, but it come from me. It come from the horse's mouth. Let me just say what I said. What I said was the statement that Moru made against President Weah. He had sleepless nights almost within a month. It denigrated him. I mean, to the extent that I say there is a possibility he might not run 2023. But if he runs, he will be doing it reluctantly. That's what I said. I would be insane to say that the president cannot win election in Liberia. I never said that. So that's the correction I want to make. I said that the president, the statement Moru made against the president, he made him to have sleepless nights, even within a month in Liberia. And because of that statement, there's a possibility he might not run 2023. And if he runs, he will be doing it under duress, or he will do it reluctantly. That's what I said. I never said that he cannot win election in Liberia. I don't want to make that clarification. And let me note this. Grand Cape Mount County is mad at the government, CDC government, the president. He never mentioned about the road in about the road, paving on the road in Grand Cape Mount County. Cape Mount County is a county, is so ideally located that the American and British soldiers settled in that county during World War I and World War II. And there is a need that that county shouldn't be overlooked because that's a place you could attract tourism. You could bring tourists in that county. He never mentioned Cape Mount County. I want to tell the president.
But then, Uncle P, let me sound a little bit ridiculous yet. My county, even though I never voted for because I never had a slight thought that this guy was going to do it. My county overwhelmingly twice voted for George Weah. And today, my mother have to go to Ivory Coast because there's no way, there's no gasoline, no good road network to go to hospital. So she asked her, but why you didn't call Grand? You didn't need. I just heard came out. Samuel Doe, we gave you up. And I think came out, we gave Bamagida Highway. Samuel Doe gave Bamagida Highway to come out. Right?
Listen to me. You know, I always speak for Grand because if we do Cape to Cape, paving on the road from Cape to Cape, Grand Judah got to be in there.
Okay. All right.
I want the road to be paved from Cape to Cape.
Okay.
Cape to Cape.
Okay.
I mean, if I say Cape to Cape, all my counties are in it.
There you go.
All in it.
What a good political correctness.
Yeah. Just pave it all the way to Cape.
You see there. What a good political correctness statement there by Uncle P. So, okay, so Uncle P, before, I will bring in Ali here, but on a serious note, the 2020 senatorial race, is the oppositions, are they prepared? Are they making preparation? Is there any indicators, is there any signs, symptoms that one can see to say, we are in what? We will soon be in February. It's October, and I'm seeing people are making guesses that there is no money, so election may not go on. They are making conclusive decision. It's wrong.
Yes. The opposition, they are not prepared. As a matter of fact, they are fighting among themselves.
Oh, my goodness.
You have a lot of disgruntled elements within the opposition, and I can see the CDC people, they are just laying back laughing at them. Let me just say this. The opposition is not prepared. They are not preparing themselves. They don't want to come together. Everybody is, let's say they're bringing in sectionalism, tribalism, county. This man is from a county, I'm supporting the other one. Look, they are not prepared. They are not preparing themselves. And there is a need for them to prepare themselves, and they want to run against the CDC. If they fail, they shouldn't get excuses.
So then what? They should start blaming the George we are blaming him needs to stop.
Yeah.
Because they need to start focusing on the task ahead, and adequate preparation is that's why it requires.
They are not organized. They are not preparing at all.
No.
And the CDC is just looking at them, laughing at them, making fun of them.
You know what?
I can tell you, they are not prepared.
You know what?
They need to prepare themselves if they want to run against the CDC.
You know what you have done here now tonight? You know what you have done? You have set a perfect dinner table from Aliyu, and just wait and see, because he's going to come right now. You are prepared at Christmas and a Thanksgiving dinner from Aliyu here this evening here. So Aliyu.
The statement I'm making.
He played right in my playbook, right?
And he knows it. This is authentic statement. This is what the CDC watching. As a matter of fact, I think the CDC people, they mad at me said now for calling this attention, because they are watching them. They are disorganized. They are not united. They are fighting among themselves. And if the CDC wins, I will be the one to give them the help if they try to complain, because I have warned them to organize themselves and stop the disunity. So CDC, sit back and enjoy. Let's watch them. If they don't organize themselves, if they give excuses, I will be the one to CDC against them. So that's my warning.
Wow.
Arrest Uncle P.
Okay, so Pa George, you get a final statement before I go over to Mr. Sambata to wrap it up this evening.
Yeah, I just want to say this. Liberia, we're at a crossroad, and we can come here and try to spend all what we can spend, but the reality on the ground is this, that the country is going the wrong direction.
Right.
And government must rethink, look at some of her policies to revitalize the economy. Because what 2 years they have put in place is not working. So they need to go back to the drawing board. You know, giving flashy speeches will not help the situation. You need to implement practical solutions. Because all these proposed, all the things they say, you know, you cannot find anything that someone will tell you, the Speaker of Agriculture, but Mr. So, it's a broad term. The government had not come out to say, like, you know what happened? If we invest $1 million in the fishery, in 6 months, in 1 year, we will create this job, and this is the revenue we'll get from it. There's nothing, it's just a general scheme, agriculture. But they are not putting figures on the thing to tell someone, look, okay, we'll go into crops. We'll invest $1 million, 500,000 or $2 million into crops. Over the next 6 months, we employ 500 persons. This is the revenue we get in return. It's not like that. We just speak generally of agriculture, but there are nobody can see in a policy that this one, if you implement it, this is what happened. It's not like that. And look at today, gasoline again have been told in Liberia. In my hometown, and I live hometown, the same problem. No gasoline in hometown.
And that's what I play in that video. I play in that video so I see it because I tried to pass through your county to go to my county and I couldn't go because there was I needed to transit in Bond County to get gasoline. So let me ask you, gentlemen, is this a sort of artificial scarcity here? I see something coming from front page here. APMT terminals put restrictions on ships coming to Liberia. Mr. Samba, let me just bring you in here. How dangerous is this if this thing to go on for a couple of weeks or days in the country? That's not a good one.
This is Alfonso. This is something that will pass. It has always happened. It just so happened that we are in the digital era. Everybody has an ability to talk from the comfort of wherever they are.
The government sees the government sees it coming, or they are caught unaware with this.
Well, there are some things that the government cannot stop, even if they try to. It's not a matter. It's a matter of international issue. If there is some sort of shortage for any reason beyond the oceans of Liberia, Liberia is not an island. It will be affected, and that is the case with the gasoline issue. We've had these issues for time immemorial. We had these issues on the LHS facility. We had this issue on the Taylor. We had this issue on the Doe. We've had the issue on everybody. Why, when it happens during George Weah time, is a taboo, is an abomination? George Weah has committed crime, something he has no control over. Liberian people must understand that these things were happening when they were born. It's like somebody come up here and say, oh, the government's supposed to create jobs, they're tired of feeding 40-year-old people. Let me tell you, Alfonso, back in Grand Jude, where in the 70s and the 60s, 40-year-old people were still living with their parents. That's why I wasn't there. 35-year-old people were still living with their parents in Bangate, where I went to school to sleep. People were 30-year-old, 35-year-old still living in their parents' home. They married, they and their parents lived together, they all cousins. George Weah was not there.
Matthew.
Okay, George Weah was not there. So why everything now that happens that is repetitious, that happened even before my uncle George was born, that George Weah is just a negligence? Why? This is what I don't understand in Liberia. Somebody tell me why.
Here's the issue here.
That's $1 million question, and I'm quite sure this is not even going to be the end of it. After George Weah presidency, it's going to be horrible. So you're going to see more social platform comes into play.
They have been scarcity in gasoline in the United States. There was a time we were buying gas for $5 in America. It was unprecedented.
Yes,
it was an economic reason beyond the government's control. If the government can control it, they will make gas for $1. But there are some extremely economic issues that the government cannot control, especially if it's affecting international, affecting people internationally.
International thing. What is the international that affecting the gas and
So you think the government just decided to
So
hold the gas?
so hold on one second. Let's have an honest. Hello guys, hold on guys.
Let me just tell you this.
So Aliyu, hold on one second. Let me Aliyu.
Refinery Corporation back in the where Liberia was actually producing refining oil, crude oil. In Liberia, they refine the crude oil, they got gas, they got kerosene, they got quota, they got all of it from right in Liberia. And there were times where
okay, hold on one second. So
there were times when there was gasoline shortage in the country.
Okay, Aliyu, 1 second. Aliyu, Pa George,
You say international,
Pa George,
and I want to know the international here.
Pa George. Okay, let's guys, let's have a little honest conversation here. Who is there anyone here that believes is a ploy on the part of government to do that? Anybody believes that? That's government doing?
I don't believe that I don't believe that the government intentionally doing this, holding the product to suffer the people. No. But what I believe is that there's administrative issue, either economic or administrative issue with the port.
Right. Okay.
Because I read some article today that the port cannot been cleaned for 2 years, and because of that, the heavy ship cannot dock at the port. That's some of the theory the port.
So it's only 2 years because just we have 2 years. The thing hasn't been done for over 5 years. Now you're talking about just 2 years because just we have been there for 2 years. You see my uncle, right?
Yeah. Don't come and look. You know you're supposed to be the Minister of Information. Alio, don't come and tell it to me.
So who making Minister of Information, huh?
Yeah. You just told us that there was international factors, and I asked Alio, what are some of the factors internationally that are affecting the global market that Liberia is suffering from?
Oh, we have issues right now in Iran. We have issues in the Middle East right now with the Israelis being given territorial rights over Jerusalem and other places. We also have the Saudi Arabia holding back on the amount of crude oil they put out for some political reasons. So we're having these issues. Whenever gasoline issue affects Liberia, it's an international thing. Remember, we're not producing crude oil.
Yeah, but
Nigeria produces crude oil, and they do have gasoline shortages.
Ali, let me ingest something.
Okay, all right.
The Israeli thing was announced today. The Iran thing been going 2-3 weeks.
But just because it was announced, it doesn't mean it wasn't taking effect there. People who live in those environments have been living with other consequences.
All right, gentlemen. Gentlemen, hold on 1 second. Time has caught up with me here now. The old man on the wall say it's time for me to go, but I'm going to be gracious for all of you, your expertise, and this is what we like on Liberia Popular Radio. This civility that is maintained here, despite of people's political differences, we shall sometimes get at people's throat. That is okay, but we maintain some sort of civility on this network here. So let me go to you guys. I'm going to go to the man from all of the 15 political counties, but he made an honest mistake. He did not call my county. He was just calling for his own county road to be paved. So let me go to him in 1 minute to make your closing remark.
Yeah, my people, we have one country, one Liberia. Regardless of our political differences, we shouldn't be enemies. We should be discussing, just how we discuss here tonight. And we're all in using profanities. The discussion here tonight was very, very conducive in a very, very good atmosphere. Let us unite in Liberia. Let us stop the animosity. If somebody is a sedition, you are a Unity Party and ANC and other political parties, you all are friends. You all are not enemies. Not because you all are in different political parties. Let us unite. We have one country. We love our country, and let us unite and stop the segregation in our country. And I will solicit the president and CDC members. I beg you guys, I'm your uncle. This is why I always tell people not to insult government officials, because I'm everybody's uncle. Okay? I'm asking you all to please work along with the vice president. Let us have a harmonious working relationship. Peace for my country. That's all I need, peace and tranquility. Thank you very much.
All right. You know what we're gonna do, Uncle P? If they can listen, if they can listen to you, are going to join forces with you. We'll form a coalition, all county political parties. Then we'll make sure we get everybody from each of the county, and they will be with us.
And on the man from all the countries, this is why I always speaking for peace in my country. I want everybody to unite.
Okay, then. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay. All right, Pa Josh, let me come to you.
Well, let me say thank you for having me and the rest of the panels on the discussion. But I want to say this, that Liberia is for all of us. It belongs to everybody. And when you are in authority, you are there for everybody. We may have our disagreement, but it doesn't mean that you are sideline or you should sideline any sub-political opinion of the country. We disagree with policy, and that's why I always ask you. I don't hate anybody personally, but it's policy that I go after. And I think Liberia now, where we are today, we are at the crossroad. Those that are in power today have a greater responsibility. When you are president, when you are ruling party, you are in power, you bear greater responsibility than the opposition. And you are on an obligation constitutionally to maintain that peace. And you should be the one to set the tone of the country. People say, hey, why you can't invest? Why ordinary people can't go? No, it's the government that's supposed to set the tone. And that tone is creating a conducive atmosphere and policy that will bring everybody to participate in the country economy. But if the government is not doing it, then of course, it's just difficult for any ordinary person to get and say, I'm doing this. So tonight, I just want to say to the Liberian people, I know times are hard, but we all should stand together. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And to my nephew, I will recruit him to go to Roman camp inside our district. Thank you.
All right. There's our own Papa Amos Joyce. He's one of our regular follower here. Thank you so much. And he's strong supporters of LPRO in terms of not just being a participant, but I financially have supported the initiative or whatever the project has embarked on. And we're going to be reaching out here. We hope these country organizations, because part of what we want to do, Monrovia, before I come to Mr. Sambat for his wrap-up, Monrovia is not a Republic of Liberia. And we are happy we have this young and decent humble man, Bettin Tinota from Bond County, who is based there, and will be bringing all insight on a daily basis, most of the time reports from inside Bond County. That's how we want to do it for all of the counties. There's a need. Our focus, our direction has been on Mosorado, Monrovia, the Capitol Hill, George Weah, Executive Mansion, this. But there are some other things that are happening outside of Monrovia. And I think everybody needs to, should be given the opportunity. Let's see some of these things. You're going to see, I'm going to play a video, hopefully before I wrap up. I hope I have the time here. This gentleman went on the mountain feed of some of the disabled and some of the things that they were doing. But let me go to Ali, you quickly for his closing remark before I let you go. Mr. Samba, again, thank you so much for taking up your time. Yes, so I'll just come to you for your closing argument here this evening.
Yeah, let me say thank you to everybody who opposed and everybody who endorsed my expose. I did not come here hoping that everybody would agree with me. And if I did, then there would be no need because there would be no actions. That's the true meaning of democracy. We must be on two sides and all of that. Having said that, let me say this to my people. George Weah, President George Weah, under the Liberian Constitution, he is not the only leader of the country. George Weah is not the only leader of the country. Even those who George Weah appoints, once they are appointed, even though they should serve at his will, they are under obligation to serve you, the people. So in order for us to spend all of our time on George Weah, let us redirect our attention to the places where it is most needed. The judicial branch of government can call George Weah to action.
the legislative branch of government can reduce George Weah's power, and the opposition, you people, are predominantly in the opposition. So why George Weah, George Weah, George Weah? Look, Monrovia is not Liberia, like Mr. So said. The people who are complaining about hardship and difficult times are the people who refuse to think outside of the box, some of them. Everybody come and sit in the overcrowded Monrovia. There are heavy, large farmlands, other lands in their grandfather's kingdom, in their grandmother's chiefdom. The lands are there. They can go and cultivate these lands, okay, bring food to market and have some money. Everybody refused to do that. Everybody wants to sit in Monrovia and wait for Western Union. And if Western Union doesn't come, they put a burden on the president. We understand that there are problems in the country. We understand that. But we must also understand as people that we need to join hands to resolve these problems, not just George Weah. George Weah is not a superman. He in no day claimed that he was Angel Gabriel. All of the countries around the world, like China 25 years ago, China was just a third world country. The reason China is successful today is not because of the Chinese government only. It's because everybody in China made it their business. People were selling cold water in the street in China just like Liberia. People sell ice cream in wheelbarrows just like Liberia. Until now, China is a highly technological country. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So let us all join hands. This hatred is going to lead us to nowhere but giving George Weah another term come 2023. Put your act together. So let me say thank you so much for being such a balanced person. Let me say thank you so much for having a temperament of a true journalist, or somebody who is a professional talk show host. Thank you so much. We hope a lot of the other people on social media will understand that just because someone has a dissenting opinion does not make them your enemy.
No.
We have to disagree to agree. Liberia is a single patrimony, and we all love that country. God bless Liberia, God bless Africa, and God bless Liberia Public Radio. Thank you so much, Mr. So.
All right, well, folks, that does it this evening. The old man there say time has cut off with me. That's the voice of Mr. Aliyu V. Sambat, one of the critical voices, and also who supports the policies of the George Weah government. We hope to get someone from the oppositions or the the opposing side to also have a talking point, and that's exactly why it is. We need to respect people of their views, of their opinions, how they feel about the institution that they partially support. If for any reason we have something on the contrary, we must be persuasive and be able to have a civil dialogue. One of these days we'll do the samplings of some of these network. Some of the talking points that come from these people here, how divisive it has become, and that has descended upon our people. It has impacted people's decision making. Remember that Liberia is a sovereign nation with 15 political subdivisions, and those political subdivisions are divided into sections. If we were to go in depth, believe me, it will be thousands and thousands. That's to suggest we're going to always have diverse views and opinions on the issues in our country. It does happen in our very homes, in our own surrounding on a daily basis. So imagine of a sovereign nation that all of us strongly feel that we have passions and so dearly love. So we must be able to respect people's views and opinion. And these platforms, they are meant to mend the broken pieces, to proportionally get information across the board, not disproportional, so that we'll be able to talk and come on some of these core issues. Well, time has cut off with me here this evening. Until then, I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. I will take you to La Côte d'Ivoire this evening as we wrap up in the solidarity.
Yeah, I know. the manu. Mama do my do the way. Mama di kanya zina uma. Shana mazina uma ba. La shono amu ajizi age. Su ado wa to ne da. Wa no ne da. Su ado na to ne da o. Edi logo. Mo wa da ble wa ble. Ye do wa do ma ble. Bo ye ble mo ye do wa do ma ble o ble. Ah. Ade. La marraine Anula.
Shana Dadam Bonyo, Sidia Manafu Benson, mu ati pompe yankane wayo onyani gaya wankane wayo bulwa wankane wayo obade buwa humina nini ni panu wachinku mihutta ibabe yazi bakubo ibamre etio chasiye minti obiasam yenti obiasam ibabe yazi bakubo ibamre etio chasiye gabi fosue yenti obiasam yenti obia yenti obia michone maho minti one mati nipabe yazi bakubo ibamre etio chasiye michone maho minti one mati nipabe yazi bakubo ibamre etio minia yenti obia yenti obia noa yenti no bigo ibabe yazi bakubo yenti obia shida madrosa minu mwa mango shida madrosa minu mwa mango sumanu masunu so wangoso neki osibabu bomsu mampuso kewo shida madrosa minu mwa mango shida madrosa minu mwa mango sumanu masunu so wangoso sibabu bomsu mampusu kewo gede bebrebe unabudu bibia ekwamba fosu emedana madao unabudu bibia introni dede bebrebe unabuna sambia kefosu emedana madao unabudu bibia michone maho minti one mati nipabe yasi bakubo ibamre etio chasiye michone maho minti one mati nipabe yasi bakubo ibamre etio minia mintio 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 bia yentio bia yenti obiko ibabe yazi bakuko ibamre etio chasiye mibanyuma kofa wariasona yenti anua kami ashede miensua yanza misempe njopema sebi amanya mire yepia fimi demo enti fide mi be pia bontiba bia na mi su obi do mi o mi bre mo wa mi su mo dio kana dia ja po ko ni be bro di no bro mi bre mo wa mi su mo dio kana dia ja po ko ni be bro di no bro mi shone maho minti one mati nipabe yasi bakubo ibamre etio chasiye mi shone maho minti one mati nipabe yasi bakubo ibamre etio minia yenti obiasam yenti obiasam ipabe yasi bakubo ibamre etio chasiye oni abe yenti obiasam ipabe yasi bakubo ibamre etio chasiye. Yansi di bane huni amayo. Biri mi hukumi umoni ba. Ikumi umoni ba. Yansi di bane huni amayentia. Obandi buwa humida. Mini ni panu wa chinku mewa. Ibabe yasi bakubo. Ibamre etio chasiye. Minti obiasam. Yenti obiasam. Ibabe yasi bakubo. Ibamre etio chasiye. Gabi fosue. Yenti obiasam. Yenti obia. Yenti obia. Noa. my entry. Shanel Dadam Bonyo, Sidia Madafu Bensen Boom, Party Pompe and Kanye Wayo.